Bharataya, Samriddham, Yatram, Prapnuya, Sujana, Susikshita. It means let new education flow for the development of Bharat. May the well-educated and virtuous individuals achieve prosperity and progress. A very good morning to all the respected guests, principals of eminent schools, CEO, SMS Lucknow, Mr. Singh Sir, Director, Dr. Ashish Bhatnagar Sir, DG Technical, Dr. V.R. Singh Sir, Director Admin, Dr. Jagdish Singh Sir, Associate Director, Dr. Dharmeen Singh Sir, Dean Engineering, CGM Sir, Joint Director, Admission Sir, all the HODs, coordinators, faculty and staff members. I, Ananya Dwivedi, student in the first year, on behalf of the School of Management Sciences Lucknow, welcome you all to the inaugural session of Principals Conclave 2025. Reimagining education for a Viksit Bharat, preparing future-ready learners. Before we proceed further, I would request all the dignitaries to please come forward for lamp lighting.
Saraswati Bhagavati Nishesha Shuklam Brahma Vichara Sara Parama Adam Jagavyapini Veena Pustakadharini Mapayana Jadyanthakara Haste Sphatikamalikam Vidadhartim Padmasane Samsthita Vande Tam Parameshwarim Bhagavatim Buddhi Pradam Sharadam.
Thank you, everyone. Today, we are not just discussing education's future, we are collectively crafting the future of our country. A Viksit Bharat or a developed India is not just a dream, but a collective responsibility. And education is the key that unlocks the doors to progress. This conclave is a platform for us to come together, share our experiences, and collectively reimagine the education landscape in India. Today, we have with us visionary principals, educators, and thought leaders who are shaping the future of education in India. Now, I would request Mr. Arun M Sir, Dr. Zahid Siddique Sir, Dr. Professor Vikram Singh Sir, Mrs. Sona Seth Ma'am to please take their respective seats on the stage. Please, sir. Thank you, everyone. Moving ahead, our first guest of honor for today's conclave is Mr. Arun M, Vice President, Lucknow Management Association. He has been an advisor to Crisis Infrastructure Advisory, Indian Institute of Management, Lucknow, and Mercer Human Resource Consulting. Sir is a former Chief Engineer, Director General, erstwhile UP State Electricity Board, and Executive Director, Raj Vidyalaya Padam Nigam Limited. I would request Director Sir to kindly welcome Sir with the bouquet. Thank you, sir. Our next guest of honor is Dr. Zahid Siddiqui. He has served the Indian Armed Forces for 38 years and has been decorated with Gallantry Award of Sena Medal by the President of India. While fighting with militants in counter-insurgency operations in Northeast, he is a professional motivational speaker on personality development and behavioral modification. He is a video blogger and social activist. Sir is also a popular author and has authored 17 books. All his books have been published internationally. Sir is also a Chief Advisory Officer of Positive Thoughts and presently associated as Director General with Access Group of Colleges, Kanpur. I would request CEO Sir to kindly welcome Sir with the bouquet. Audience, huge round of applause. Thank you, sir. Our next guest of honor and keynote speaker is Dr. Professor Vikram Singh, sir, former officer of Indian Police Service, 1974 batch, former Director General of Police, Uttar Pradesh. Sir is one of the most highly decorated police officers in the country who has relentlessly fought national, international terrorist outfits and organized crime syndicates. Sir has received many awards, including President's Police Medal for Gallantry in 1986, Kathin Seva Medal in 2001, and many more. He has also been rated as a star trainer and speaker on issues related to security, man management crisis, team building, and value ethics. Sir is currently working as the Chancellor of Noida International University. I would request CEO Sir to kindly welcome Sir with a bouquet. Thank you, sir. Our next guest of honor is Mrs. Sona Seth ma'am. She's a Deputy Commissioner, former Kendriya Vidyalaya Sangathan, Regional Office, Lucknow. I would request CEO Sir to kindly welcome ma'am with a bouquet. Thank you, sir. Now, I would request Director Sir for his welcome address. Sir, please.
A very good morning to all. Respected Shri Mathur, Dr. Vikram Singh, retired DGP, Pradesh Police. Colonel Zahid Siddiqui, Mrs. Sona Seth, Deputy Commissioner, Kendriya Vidyalaya Sangathan, CEO and Secretary, School of Management Sciences, Lucknow, distinguished educators, my dear colleagues, a very good morning once again to all. It is my distinct honor and privilege to welcome you to this prestigious Principals Conclave themed Reimagining Education for Viksit Bharat, preparing future-ready learners. Friends, before we move ahead, for the information of the House, I would briefly like to take you through the journey of the School of Management Sciences as to what we are, what we do. We started off with a humble beginning in 1995 from Varanasi, where we offered a postgraduate program in management. And thereafter, we spread our wings to Lucknow in 2008 with two programs, that was B.Tech and postgraduate diploma in management. We are affiliated to the University of Lucknow for our UG programs, and we are affiliated to the A.P.S Abdul Kalam Technical University for all our professional programs, that is the B.Tech and the MBA. As I said, that we started with two courses, two programs, that is the B.Tech and the PGDM in 2008. It is my proud privilege to announce that right now we are offering a total of 13 programs, out of which 7 are in different branches of engineering. That is the civil engineering, mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, the core branches, the computer science engineering, and apart from that, we are also offering engineering in emerging technologies, that is the AIML, I.P.S, and the IO. As far as the UG programs are concerned, we are offering undergraduate programs in commerce, management, and computer applications. And we have one postgraduate program, that is the Masters of Business Administration. We earned NAC A+ accreditation in 2023. And again, it is my proud privilege to announce or to inform that we are the only institution with NAC A+ rating amongst more than 550 institutions which are affiliated to the university. And we are the second institution with A+ rating amongst more than 700 institutions which are affiliated to the A.P.S Abdul Kalam Technical University, Lucknow. Briefly, I would like to talk about what we are doing. We have two centers of excellence. One is the CB1 Center for Research and Innovation. What we are doing is we are conducting workshops, national and international seminars on issues which are related to environmental protection and sustainable development goals. We have developed an aerobike which finds mention in the Limca Book of Records. We have also developed certain other products like the micro hydro turbine, the solar street car, and the journey continues. Through our Vedic Science Center, we have been continuously conducting research on various aspects that, and I am happy to announce that some of the concepts that are propagated by the center, they have also been accepted by NASA. The Vedic Science Center also conducts regular yoga, meditation, and prayer classes for our students as well as our faculty members. I would like to highlight the institutional best practice. Very often we tend to hear that there is a gap between what the industry demands and what the institutions they produce. So in order to bridge the gap between what the industry demands, we offer an employability enhancement program where we try to assess the abilities of the students who are coming in. We try to understand the aspirations of the students who are coming in, and then after identifying the gaps that are there between what the student aspires, what are his abilities, and what the industry actually demands. So we try to bridge that gap through value-added courses, through offering soft skills and other personality enhancement exercises to our students to make them industry ready. We also do several extension activities under our NSS unit as well as under the Uttar. We have adopted 5 villages nearby our institution where we conduct health checkup camps, we distribute blankets, we conduct awareness activities with the school students, and likewise some of institutional placement efforts. These are some of the companies that we have brought in, and they have paid our students at good salary packages. Some in-house applications. Friends, we believe in the philosophy that achieving excellence is not an end. We believe that it is a journey that should continue forever. Now, having said that, as we gather here to deliberate on the pathways for reshaping education in Viksit Bharat or developed India, as we say, friends, I would like to draw inspiration from the ongoing Mathur, a timeless confluence of spirituality, tradition, and collective wisdom. The Mathur, a celebration of spirituality and renewal, teaches us profound lessons. Lessons of adaptation and lessons of continuity. Similarly, in our pursuit of educational excellence, we are called upon to blend timeless wisdom with contemporary insights, preparing our learners not just to face the challenges of today, but for the opportunities that are arising tomorrow. Just as the Mahatma symbolizes unity and diversity and a quest for inner enlightenment, this conclave represents a confluence of ideas, cultures, and visions for preparing learners who are not only academically accomplished, but also value-driven, resilient, and future-ready. The theme of Viksit Bharat, it resonates deeply with our shared commitment to nurturing holistic development and resilience in our students. In our quest to reimagine education, we must embrace innovation in pedagogy. We must leverage technology as an enabler of learning and foster an environment that encourages creativity and critical thinking. Friends, our aim is to empower our learners with the skills and knowledge that transcend boundaries and prepare them to thrive in a rapidly evolving global landscape. एक शिक्षक होने के नाते ये हमारा, it is our moral responsibility to prepare the learners who will thrive in an unpredictable future. students should be taught to address global challenges like climate change, inequality, and technology disruptions with innovative solutions. That's one. Friends, in the age of rapid globalization, character development is as critical as intellectual growth. While preparing global citizens, we must ensure that their roots remain deeply embedded in our rich cultural and ethical heritage. साथियों, ये समय शिक्षा को एक नई दिशा देने का है, जिसमें न केवल विद्यार्थियों को हम रोजगार के लिए तैयार करें, बल्कि उन्हें भविष्य का नेतृत्व करने योग्य भी बनाएं। Let us together create an ecosystem where learners are not only future ready, but also nation ready, capable of contributing meaningfully to Atmanirbhar Bharat and a Viksit Bharat by 2047. I urge all of us to channel the inspiration from the Mahaprabhu's collective spirit into our discussions today. Let us exchange ideas, build collaborations, and leave this conclave with actionable insights that can transform the educational landscape of our nation. On behalf of the School of Management Sciences, Lucknow, I once again welcome you to this conclave, and let us affirm our dedication to excellence in education. Dhanyawad.
Thank you, sir, for providing a brief description about our college, SMS Lucknow. Now, with a huge round of applause, I would like to invite Mr. Arun Mathur, sir, to take the session ahead for further discussion. Please, sir.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Vikram Singh and the dignitaries on the dais, across the dais. It's an honor for me to be here to discuss the ambitious national goal of Viksit Bharat 2047 and the pivotal role educators play in achieving. Before I share my thoughts, let me briefly introduce the Lucknow Management Association. LMA is a multidisciplinary professional body affiliated with the All India Management Association, with around 2,500 members from academia, business, and government, led by our current president, Shri Kumar Singh, Chief Secretary and President LMA. We actively engage in the management development programs and high-impact public policy discussions. Our stated mission, which is recited in all LMA meetings, is to sensitize and catalyze individuals, institutions, and communities to actualize their potential. This makes us educators in our small way.
Hello.
And we are pleased to collaborate with SMS in this program today. To set the context of this conclave, I would say that as we look at India's 100 years of independence, we must recognize that education is not just a pillar, but the very foundation of this transformation we are aiming at. By 2047, a developed India must embody a couple of things. One is economic prosperity, then social equity, scientific innovation, and cultural richness. The key question for us today is how can educators prepare the leaders, thinkers, and innovators who will build the future for this Viksit Bharat. The obvious answer lies in our classrooms, where we must nurture dreams, instill critical thinking, and foster resilience. To achieve this, I propose a few actions. My first suggestion would be on evolving the curriculum and the pedagogy. Education must go beyond rote learning. That's important. The National Education Policy 2020 and the National Curriculum Framework provides clear guidelines for integrating critical thinking, problem solving, and interdisciplinary approaches. Every student must develop the skills and mindset to navigate a globalized world. LMA has been conducting numerous programs for teachers on NEP 2020, and we welcome collaborations with the institutions represented. We have learned during these interactions that the work on implementation of NEP in the government schools is progressing very rapidly. This is reflected in the recently released ASER report 2024, which was released only 3 days back, and it shows a significant improvement in learning outcomes across both government and private schools. UP government has worked on missions like Nipun and Prerna, which seem to have delivered and should be sustained. My second suggestion is about creating global competence with cultural identity. While students prepare for global competitions as they are doing now, we must instill a deep sense of cultural pride and responsibility. A developed nation respects its heritage while embracing progress. Educators must integrate this dual identity, ensuring that the students remain rooted in their values while excelling on the world stage. Thirdly, it is very important to ensure inclusivity and equity for which the educators and policymakers have a huge responsibility. Development cannot be complete without inclusion. Quality education must be accessible to all, irrespective of their backgrounds. This means prioritizing marginalized communities, advocating gender equality, and fostering a democratic environment. My fourth point is leveraging technology. It is no more an option. The classroom of 2047 will be vastly different from today's technology, and technology is a great equalizer. Tools like AI, virtual labs, and digital platforms can democratize education. However, educators must guide the students to use technology responsibly and creatively. LMA has been working with institutions to share knowledge on how teachers can leverage AI to enhance pedagogy. I again invite institutions here to reach out to LMA in these programs. And finally, fostering a culture of research and innovation is necessary, which all developed countries have. For India to lead in science and technology, we must nurture the spirit of inquiry from an early age. These are the few pointers I thought I would share with you, with the hope that the two panels the discussions which will follow will discuss these issues in greater detail. So let's dream big for our students, invest in their potential, and commit to excellence as we hold the key to Viksit Bharat. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your thoughts with us. Today, we are proud to have Dhiraj sir with us, who will introduce his book, AI for Kids, at this stage of SMS Lucknow. Now, I request Dhiraj sir to please come on the stage for unveiling the book with Dignitaries.
Good morning, each one of you. It is indeed a great pleasure for me, on behalf of Lucknow Management Association, that we are happy to release one of my books on artificial intelligence for classes 1 to 5. Remember, if I recode it, it says 1 to 5, because the essence of learning starts from that level. And it also surrounds us with the craze that yes, that knowledge is indispensable. And for that reason, I would request the panel members here, the guests here, to look forward to initiating this call. And can we have a round of applause for them, please? Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Many congratulations. दर्जा 5 नहीं, हमारे से लोगों के लिए नहीं।
That is there. It's available on Amazon. There is a demand from the chief guest. He says दर्जा 5 नहीं बल्कि ऊपर भी. So I would like to say that the book is available on Amazon. Basics of artificial intelligence, and that is for adults. That's for any age group. It's on Amazon. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Moving ahead, inviting our next guest speaker, Dr. Zahid Siddiq, sir, with a big round of applause. So please enlighten us with your words.
I'm actually humbled. I really don't know what to say. In the presence of such humility sitting right next to me. So I want to look at them and actually talk to you, right? ये आप जज्बा है लोगों के ज़हनों में, ये सिपाहियों की आप लोग उनके घुटनों में पड़े। But I am a tomato ketchup different. You see? मेरे दारों को जो बताया गया, President of India has awarded me a Sona Medal. वो कम था शायद. I have been awarded by the President of India a short across Sona Medal, one medal for making 6 bullets in my body. Not to stop here. I was superannuated in 2014 after 40 years of career service. So our present Chief of the Army Staff, General Kendriya, carried out an exercise. And he tasked his IT cell कि भाई पता करो ये हमारे अफसर रिटायर हो जाते हैं ये उसके बाद करते क्या है whether they have some contribution in this society or just live on pension, play bridge, play golf, and when the sun sets, the August activity you know. Surprisingly, more than 10,000 doctors have been graduated in the last 10 years, ranking from a major to a general. When I was surprised, when my right job who is most active in the field of social service and education, he flew down from Delhi to Civil Command Lucknow and honorably posed to diabetes on the mountain, not just man. Having associated with the Access Colleges for the last 12 years as a Director General and continuously interacting with teachers and the students, I have come to a firm conclusion that there is no lack of energy, there is no lack of technology, infrastructure, the teachers, faculties, potential, capability. But, my friend, the proof of the pudding lies in eating. When my friend here sends me the requirement of reimagining education, reintegrating technology, somebody writes it. Somebody writes it. You see? That is very important that we must do project-based education. When I was asked people also add something, I said, okay, from my side, I feel resilience, bringing resilience in education is one and the most important thing. Now, I must clarify what is this resilience I mean when it comes to education. That comes from my training. When we enter an academy, our 10th, 11th class boy, कितना शऊर उसमें होता है इसका अंदाजा लगाने हैं. When he enters the academy, the first thing is to ensure that the welfare of the country you serve comes first and first always. The welfare of the troops you command comes first and comes second and second always. And your own welfare comes last and last always, my friend. This is required to be infused in every child's mind. This country is a great nation. And it's got a potential to become the best country of the world. Provided we learn this thing, then he may come. This country belongs to all of us. He may come. सभी का है कदम कदम हम चले तुम्हारे साथ हम चले हमारे साथ तुम चले. The rise of this feeling of that I am better than you, and somebody is better than someone just because you belong to particular sect, religions, whatever. I think we are harming this great nation. हमसे दूर हम चले, हमसे दूर तुम चले. ये दोस्ती का वक्त है, मिलाकर कदम चले. मैं कदम सभी का है, कदम कदम हम चले. Very important to understand this one word. It's called camaraderie. All your education, all your effort should not become a means to just download information in your head, fill it up and don't apply your own life. The day your students realize that the boy who tops the institution is as important as the boy who is the last of the institution, we are together. Marks don't decide a man's future. In the academy when we passed out, we had soda for it. We had so many people in Super Club. And I had come from a village from a Kanpur. So I was again had a serious complex area तो बहुत ही गड़बड़ है. सलावर से आ रहा है, दूर से आ रहा है, पता नहीं कहाँ से आ रहा है. हमारा क्या हो? You know, after 40 years when I was retired, 90% of them retired as a technical major. And a few did become general, but what state they were in, I know it. Do not underestimate the child who's not doing academically well. My friend is got a tremendous amount of making potential in him or her. They can spring up any point of time. Just one creating a environment. When I say community resilience means what? I'll give you a personal example. Sir, I may take one or two mistakes of your mind. Thank you. And give me a smile when I cross my limit. I'll understand and go quiet. Okay, done? All of you who get fine, I understand. What don't give difference, right? The common idea is try to explain you what personal life experience, profession. 1984. You all must have heard the great exercise in the army carried out called Pop Raksha. Saraswati was the head of affairs, and the country decided to teach a lesson of life to Pakistan. They mobilized the army all around the border with full ammunition and actual operation. I was with my contingent commander, our officer, commands tank. The girls took picture of tanks of them. It was 74 hours and we were tank together. Right? So we were told, this is project, this is an area. And where was the possibility? Just behind the fence, the entire border is fenced. You got to lay a minefield, like minefield, for about 800 meters. Minefield, you understand all of it? एक ऐसा explosive जो जमीन पे गाड़ दिया जाता है और किसी ने उसको बैग रखा जो बच्चों प्लास्टिक does anybody tries to walk away. ना उससे जो हमारे जवान उसको ले करते हैं तो स्टेट में होती है उसके लिए माफ कर दिया कि अपनी डोरियां तो वो ले करके उससे आ जाए हमारे जवान के माइंड लेकर के राजा ही somehow stepped over those strings and he fell over the line and lost it. He lost his one leg, completely shredded, one hand, but he was alive. And we could see from 800 meters, and we are trying 10, 20 binoculars. This is the structure, we are telling. Now the point is, I am telling you concretely. We have two choices. Either we let the man there going to die, or we go and get him. If you go and get him, then there is a fear that we lose more men. Because all these strings are blown, but you don't know where the mind is going to mind. There's a channel, and I mean, we inform the higher headquarters. The message comes down to me, young man, we want this soldier back. Now, most of the women use, we say irrespective. We cannot leave our friend, our soldier, comrade. In this state, we got to get him back. Why? There are better evidence, I will not discuss that. There are methods to do that. We followed that. And we went. The guy is our troops reaching, one behind the other. Deliberate manner. The guy is dying, Divan Singh. He tells, sir, what was up? मैं तो मरी रहा हूँ तुम भी अपनी जान अंदर हो रहा है but God is over order. For us, mission is more important than the men. You may lose one man, but you can save 1,000 men when you see overall situation. Anyway, exercise was done. He was picked up. While on the way back, again one fellow put his foot on the wine and it lost him. We lost 3 men, and we got that guy back to the safe line. And he was evacuated and saved. I was very deeply pained. Sir, what is this? Saving one man, he lost 3 men. My general tells me, son, you have no idea. When history will be written, it won't matter how many men we lost. But it will be highlighted. For saving one man, we can give so many lives, but we don't leave our comrade just like this. My friend, this is the sense of comrade means. Any amount of talim, people mistake that education is a part. Academics is a part of education, no, not at all. It is just some minuscule part of the education. Education means you have to produce a complete man, a complete student, who is strong, who is fearless, who is competent, and who is kind, who knows how to respect people, who knows to express himself, who knows how to consider the weak, and who knows not to indulge in a cold-blooded murder. इसी ख्याल से मेरे भारत का दिमाग में बहुत I was retired and doing all this. to write down something what I've learned from him. So this was my 6th book I wrote. Everything you always wanted to know about education. This book was translated into 7 languages in India and did tremendously well. Compilation, कपड़े कैसे पहनना है, खाना कैसे खाना है, अपने आप को इंट्रोड्यूस कैसे करना है, आपके लिफ्ट में कोई अगर टीचर बैठा हुआ है, what is lift etiquette, what is computer etiquette, what is talking telephone etiquette. You see already coming in when you get right. If you don't give a helping hand, give her away, then you are not a complete man. Absolutely not. You see? So my friend, this Hindi version of the program, I want to tell you all of you. परों को खोल, हमारा उड़ान देखता है. The difference between perception and reality, desire and reality is action. And if you don't put in action, everything is lost. परों को खोल, हमारा उड़ान देखता है. सभी के बैठ कर क्या आसमान देखता है? By those little children. To take a flight to the wings. I take this country to height. I wish Almighty that each and every student of the SMS not only bring honor and glory to my country, but to their institution, to their parents, and to himself. Thank you very much. So far, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for enlightening us with your motivational life experiences. Audience, help me in inviting Dr. Vikram Singh, sir, with a huge round of applause. Please, sir.
माफी चाहूंगा सही डॉक्टर महोदय मोबाइल फोन बात करने के लिए नहीं बल्कि पाबंदी की दरकार में डॉक्टर साहब ने फरमाया था कि अगर उनका वक्त खत्म हो जाए तो बस जरा मुस्कुरा दीजिएगा. मैं चाहूंगा मुझे कि आपका समय समाप्त हो गया है, आप प्रस्थान करें. Respected CEO Mr. Saraswati ji, देखिए माथुर सर, one and only one, Dr. Siddiqui साहब, Madam Sona Seth ji, Director Professor Vandana ji, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Coming to SMS is like a pilgrimage. This is my 3rd visit to the SMS group of colleges, 2 in Varanasi and 1 in Lucknow. I find it a tremendous burst of positive energy, and if this was not enough, the other injected my brother Zahid, आपकी शान, तो लाइनें लीडरों की धूम है, लीडरों की धूम है, फॉलोअर कोई सभी तो जनरल है यहाँ, आगे सिपाही कौन है? I'm Mahmoud here, and I have a plan. Everyone who knew इतनी फसा करके बारे में कि आज किसी का है होता. आपकी शान में लोगों की बातें अल्फाज कहे गए, और मैं समझता हूँ कि वो सबसे ज़्यादा है कि आप humble in the presence of patriots. और आपके टोन और टेनर बिल्कुल स्पष्ट कर दिया. 2047 is the 100th year of our independence, and that is a roadmap in which we have to reinforce. आपने बजा फरमाया, लोगों को बड़ी गलतफहमी है कि हम लोगों की आपके घुटने में रहती है. आपके इल्म और उसको सलाहियत आपके अंदर है नहीं. मैं जब यूनिवर्सिटी का वाइस चांसलर हुआ, तो लोगों ने कहा कि सर आप नाम लिखाइए डॉक्टर का मतलब है कि आपकी पर्सनालिटी को शोभा नहीं देगा. जब वो पर्सनालिटी को शोभा क्या देता है वो आप हमें बताएंगे क्या शोभा देता है. फिर दूसरा ये, knowledge is instant global advantage. Knowledge is instant global advantage. tragedy of the education today. जैसे सर हमने 5 साल पहले किया था, तो मैंने किया था आपकी पैदाइश के पहले, मैंने PhD की थी आपकी पैदाइश के पहले, energetics of agro ecosystems and its relation to forest ecosystems. और बालीवन आपके वालिद की पैदाइश के पहले मैंने अपना MSc के प्रोजेक्ट प्रोफेसर डिग्री पर को दिया था, anatomical investigations of fossil dipole roots from the Deccan integrated belts of India and its relation to forest ecosystem. मैं तो कहना नहीं और पढ़ने वाली my teachers मैंने भगवान नहीं थे कि आप जो हमारे आचार्य बन थे मेरे भगवान नहीं थे जैसे आप 2047 के महायज्ञ में जब शिक्षित भारत होगा विकसित भारत होगा उसके प्रमुख यजमान आप हैं। बहुत बड़ा उत्तरदायित्व है कि लोग आपको 2 आंख से देखना देती है लेकिन आपका क्लास आपका विद्यालय आपको हजारों आंख से देखता है। There is a smallest flaw in my personality, rest assured, it will be magnified 1,000 times. I go back to class 8 when none of you would have been born. मैं जब ये बोला कुछ लोग हमको जिम्मेदार पढ़ाया था वो PPTs लेके नहीं आते, उनको कभी भी रिसोर्स की जरूरत नहीं पड़ती कि पर्ची या नोट्स लेके आते। And the example is class 9, class 10. आप लोगों में केमिस्ट्री से कौन कितने लोग हैं? Periodic table की definition कोई बताएगा? Physical and chemical properties of elements are the periodic functions of the atomic numbers. और ये पुलिस में 36 साल नौकरी के बाद भी मुझे याद है। बायोलॉजी के बायोटेक्नोलॉजी के कोई है? The passage of a solvent such as water from a region of low concentration to a region of high concentration through a semi-permeable membrane is known as osmosis. No, I can give you an example also. There are 2 definitions of periodic table: the Mendeleev, which is of atomic weight, and the current, which is of atomic number. ये 36 साल बाद पुलिस ने क्योंकि मेरे DNA का पार्ट हो चुका है, मुझे कुछ करने की जरूरत नहीं है। Comparative anatomy by water and skin. Skin is a gem of all trades. When it is in front of the eyes, it becomes transparent. When it is at the extremities, it becomes red like finger razor. रटी हुई बात तो बुखार वाली होती है, ये नमक होती है जो DNA का पार्ट। Knowledge is instant global advantage. हमारी आपकी any degree that I have earned, like I have earned a degree 10 years ago, it has an expiry date like any medicine. And if I do not upgrade my skill, then I become as fossil, as irrelevant, as big a dinosaur, as a nuisance specimen. I'll be placed outside in the dustbin, if not in the museum, because I'm not relevant. By the time your conference is over, hundreds and thousands of research papers will be out. Therefore, we literally have to run just to stay still and keep up with the information race. 1, 2. Things are moving so fast, the knowledge is that you have to be focused. बच्चे भी हैं, याद रखना ये फॉर्मूला, focus plus daily improvement plus time will make you a genius. And the fact that all of us teachers need to realize, हमारे टाइम में बैठ पहले भी लड़का था हमारा, जो ये चाय पीता, ऊपर जाए आज अगर बच्चा सिर्फ चाय पिए ऊपर जाए बड़ी पूजा जगह तो देता है, सिर्फ चाय ही पीता है और कुछ नहीं पीता, सिर्फ उपन्यासी पढ़ता है और कुछ नहीं पढ़ता। Now the distraction, addiction to distraction is the death of creativity. The present generation, as you said, is very immensely more gifted than I would ever possibly imagine. If I have an IQ of maybe 100, the IQ of today's children would exceed 150, each one of them. Imagine AI in class 1 and 5. And that is the information bit that to be relevant and to be pertinent, I have to be the best. And to be the best, that requires something like 10,000 hours. And 10,000 in 5 years translates into 7 hours a day, and that is at the exclusions. That is at the exclusion of the Valentine's Day, Archie's Gallery, dating camps. It is academics is a full-time job. You forgive me for being brutal because it is not my job to get लोकप्रियता from anyone. मेरी बात पसंद ना आए, 4 गाली लेके चले जाए. But what my parents told me, what my teachers told me, it is my duty to tell and give it to all. I have been in the NCR for 4 years. 36 years, I have not tasted liquor. Okay, खट्टी होगी मीठी है मुझे नहीं. 2007 it pains me to know that when I see school children buying liquor in liquor shop, there should be a ban. It should not be 21 years. It should be that. Ask my university has. We don't do liquor, we don't do drugs, we don't do pan masala, we don't smoke. If you want to have a puritan and attractive lifestyle, you are welcome to my university. Otherwise, there are thousands. पहुंचने का एक रास्ता है, भटकने के 1000 रास्ते. और आप दूसरों से एक ही निवेदन है कि लोकप्रियता छोड़ करके मेरी माता के लिए वाक्य करता हुआ क्या है, वो भी मेरे लिए भगवान. देखो तुम्हारी माँ को लेकिन आदि कसाई. इस घर में शरीफों के लिए 10 रास्ते खुले हैं और बाहर जाने के लिए 20 रास्ते. Academics is a full-time job. Academics is a full-time job. अगर रोमांसिंग करनी है, अगर बड़ी से इश्क, that is also a disease. है इश्क. तूने कौमों को खा के छोड़ा, जिस घर में सर उठाया उसे बैठा के छोड़ा. For everything there is a time, and with everything there is a season. Academic excellence comes वही एक तपस्या. यहाँ निशा सर्वभूतानां तस्यां जायते. When the world sleeps, the student and the academician keeps awake and sees numerous orders. I still need my time. So, I was saying that it is a full-time job. 36 years in the police and during the 24 I was doing my PhD. मुझे ये नहीं मालूम कि कौन सी फिल्म आई, कौन सी हीरोइन आई, कौन सा फैशन आया, कौन सा कॉस्मेटिक्स आया, क्योंकि कॉस्मेटिक्स हमारी जनरेशन को पूरी अलग तो बना सकता है. आप बोले लाए हुआ साबुन लाल वाला और मड़ुआ तेल, हम तीसरा कॉस्मेटिक लगाया तो माता जी फिर लगा दी थी. इसके खाते में कितनी उम्र क्या है यूनिवर्सिटी में पढ़ना. इसकी कोई मुरम्मत नहीं. ये कॉस्मेटिक्स अगर लगाना हो तो जब कमाने लगता तब after she learned. Then the excellence that education is, it comes at a price, a small price. All of them. भरत साहब ने बताया, मैं साहब जिंदगी में कभी टॉप 3 में नहीं आया. लेकिन जब मेरी लेट क्रॉसिंग हो गई है, बीएससी में टॉप, एमएससी में टॉप, I.P.S में टॉप. लेकिन मुझे किसी हीरो का नहीं मालूम. I don't know films, I don't know fashion. मुझे ये मालूम है कि टेररिस्ट कहाँ आएगा, इसकी गर्लफ्रेंड कहाँ है, इसके शौक कहाँ, बिरयानी कहाँ खाने जाए और वो उसको टक्का नहीं. जिसने लाइन क्रॉस की उसको करना ही है. जिसके देश को किया बच्चियों में तेजा डाला ही हैज टू डाई. मैं आपके सामने जाकर पहले लिखा ही हैज टू डाई. And my success has been said for क्योंकि अगर मैं देखता आज ये फिल्म आई है गंगा जमुना शोले और ये चुहल की ये सब आ रही फिल्म का नाम है जो मैंने बहुत अच्छी फिल्म है. चलो I have not seen any film जो मेरी फिल्म रही है but I have liked the role because I don't have to sell toothpaste and hair oil to that person. I have to get his life because if I don't he'll get my life. और सर आपकी तरह maximum guarantee is not once but 8 times. एक के बाद बता दो there is no scientific proof for a person who would not stand first in his class, standing first in BSc, MSc and I.P.S, getting 4 gallantry medals, many times over, एक ही नहीं मिला सर. पर वो बड़ा मुझे पता है. हालांकि अपॉर्चुनिटीज बहुत आई थी लेकिन ये माता पिता का आशीर्वाद था इसलिए मुझे उससे मैं वंचित रह गया. लेकिन मातृभूमि पर शीश चढ़ाने जिस पथ जाए वीर अनेक, as Colonel Saab said, that men and women of character and men and women of steel are the true wealth of India, and that is what we must focus. Academics is a small part. As Swami Vidyalaya said, education is the manifestation of the perfection already in life. And to the Retd Vidyalaya said, education is not the number or amount of unassimilated information that you have inside you that is running riots. It's not. At the end of the day, I will encompass whatever I had to say in just one line. Shama go एहसास इस वर्ष की दहलीज पे रोशन करके जिससे जिल्लत के अंधेरों से बुलाना। ईश्वरस्य पुत्रः यूयम् शाश्वतस्य पुत्रः यूयम्। You are all children of immortality. God bless you.
धन्यवाद सर, आपने हम सब में एक नई ऊर्जा का संचार किया है। आपकी सिखाई सभी बातों को थैंक यू सर। Now I would request Mrs. Sona Seth ma'am to enlighten us with her experience. A big round of applause, ma'am. Good morning, everyone. Mr. Singh, Secretary and CEO, Shri Mathur ji, Cousin Zahid Siddiqui ji, a pleasure to meet you, a fellow Kenyan, and last, definitely not the least, Dr. Vikram Singh ji. It is such a pleasure and honor to be actually on the same dais with you all. Thank you. Dear friends, actually, I really don't want to speak now. After the three speakers before me, they have been so inspiring. I am actually going to talk more about the day-to-day things, what we as educators need to address. So, I'll share the things. They showed the path. They actually talked about where we want our future learners to be. I will just try and throw light on the basis of my experience on how to get them there. So here I go. Once again, thought leaders, change makers, educators. Looking at the topic once again, reimagining education for a Viksit Bharat, preparing future-ready learners. Now when we talk about Viksit Bharat, a developed India, it is a resilient India. It is a globally competitive India that we are looking for. A century of independence. I believe the hard work, the sacrifices of people like these who are here on the dais, and those who gave their lives. How do we prepare our students to actually prove ready for that? So we will have to first of all, because we're at this cusp of transformation. You know what is happening right now when we're talking about education, we are talking about change. Does the change mean that when we were educated, it was not the right way? That is not true. We can't jettison the past because we are all products of the past. We actually were doing things right. That is why we are where we are now. But with this fast changing world, unless we adapt, like Sir said, unless we keep running, we won't be able to even stand where we are. So we do have to change and we do have to adapt and we have to do it very fast. Now, in this scenario, right now, look at the students. I can see a lot of students here. They are actually going to be the change makers. They are growing up into a world for which we actually cannot prepare them unless we prepare them for the unknown. Because we cannot envisage what the world will be like a few years from now, at the rate that it is changing, at the rate that it is evolving. So what do we do to make our future generation ready? We have, of course, the very robust aspirational document, the National Education Policy 2020, the NCF. They have laid down guidelines, and these guidelines can actually show the path. We talk about moving from rote memory to competency-based education. Sir gave the example. I was wondering, sir, when you were talking about the periodic table, is it not partially rote memory starts with that? but then, as you said, it becomes part of your DNA. So somewhere we will keep the past in us, but we have to move forward. Competency-based education we talk about, that is actually ensuring that the children don't just learn, they don't just understand, but they develop the competence so as to apply their learning in no matter what the scenario. That we move away from classroom education. Because, sir, though you may remember what you studied in class 8, I believe most of us don't remember what we studied in the class. More often we remember what we did outside. But what we need is that no matter where our future learners are, they have the competence, they have the ability to evolve, to grow. Like when I talk to my teachers, my principals, I generally say that our task is done if we have taught our children to become learners. You can't teach them on. You just have to teach them how to learn. Once they learn to learn, they are set on their way. Now, how can we do that? I do have a few points. I'd like to discuss those. Now, the NEP, we know the key shifts it talks about, already mentioned, both learning to critical thinking, to creativity, integration of technology, I'm going to talk a little bit more about it, skill-based learning, and for all this, what we need to do is teacher empowerment. Teachers and you principals are the leaders in the class so that you can create leaders outside. Now we can reshape our schools into future-ready ecosystems if we pay attention on what we are doing with our children inside the class and outside. A mention was made of input. So did that, I think. Right now, NEP, the new education policy, has set down many guidelines and implemented, as it was said, that the government schools, I think Mathur said that, are doing a lot. Being from Vidyalaya, perhaps many of you may not be aware what AVs are doing. I'd like to share a few things. One, although the focus generally when we talk academics is on the board classes, the results. So although the Vidyalayas, I'd like to share, are turning out extremely competent individuals into the society. We have, as I said, Colonel Zahir Siddiqui as an example. I claim you now, sir. He's a Canadian, I came to know. But the focus is not always on the senior classes. Right now, gradually, the focus is more on the primary section. The old adage, you have to water the roots to ensure that the tree blooms. So similarly, right now, we are focusing on the foundational classes. And to give an example, how we are leveraging technology. Right now, I believe all of us know that reading skills are very, very important. No matter what the subject, if you are able to inculcate the right reading skills when the children are able to read with fluency, with comprehension, you are actually truly turning them into learners. So to do that, right now Kendriya Vidyalayas are collaborating with IIT Mumbai. I'm happy to share that I piloted that project when I was in Mumbai, and now it has expanded to all the Kendriya Vidyalayas, all to 1,256 of them in the country and 3 abroad, where we are using technology to assess the learning skills of the children. Now, we have students as well as teachers from across the country, and our mother tongue tends to at times interfere with the reading skills. So, to ensure that our children, the new children, the children from Balvatika, that is the pre-primary, the 3 years, and then classes 1, 2, and 3, they learn to read so that later on they can read to learn. We have what we call the ORF, the Oral Reading Fluency Project, where we have an app developed by the IIT Mumbai in collaboration with I.P.S called the Tara app. And their children read a prescribed text And as they read, it is recorded, and at the back end, we have experts in the IIT who decode the text and who are able to tell how well the child is reading, not just in terms of words per minute, but correct words per minute, but also whether there is prosody, whether there is comprehension, whether the child is comprehending the text as he's reading, and what level of fluency is there. Now, it seems very simple, but this task, if done by teacher for every individual child, and KVs have these class sizes, as you know, can be a lot of man-hours. Instead, we use technology for this. And after the assessment, which is done literally in real time on the basis of the app, we are able to use interventions in the class and improve the reading and learning skills of the students. So this is just an example to show how we are talking about technology, how technology can be leveraged to improve educational practices. Now basically we are talking about the 21st century and talking about the Viksit Bharat, future ready learners. What do we imagine when we talk about future ready learners? Definitely, like Sir said, critical skills, critical thinkers, those who can analyze problems, develop solutions, creative innovators who adapt and lead in a changing world. Now, when we talk creativity, dear principals, as the leaders in your schools, you have to see whether you are fostering creativity or inhibiting it. Generally, what happens is, in our effort to teach children, we treat them at par. Like Sir said, not always those who are academically the best turn out to be the most successful in life. But generally in schools, what happens, there are certain criteria, we judge children according to that and take measures. A rose will always be there, it can never be black or blue, can it? The leaf has to be green, but God has created leaves in all colors. So generally what I'm just giving examples is that we tend to limit the thinking of the child instead of letting it do. So what we have to do is we have to foster creativity actually by just letting children be, giving them the scope to find themselves. Self-discovery leads to self-worth. Are we doing that, or are we trying to put them all in a straitjacket? That is also something I'd like to say when we talk about creativity. Effective communicators, no matter what the field they choose, if they can communicate well, they succeed. So that, I believe, is something you all have to try for. And leaders they will become. But unless they are ethical leaders, we have Osama bin Laden. He was a leader. So you have to see that when you are fostering their innate potential, because every child, has it in them. How do you actually prepare them? How do you actually help them find themselves is what we as educators need to do. So saying that, I would like to simply add to a few things my predecessors have already said. Sir, you remembered your mother and something she taught you. And at that very moment, I remembered something. This is an adage which was literally written in all my student life. Every time it faded, my father ensured that just in his handwriting, it was there on the cupboard so that we could see it. And believe me, I still have it in my diary. It's a simple sentence which says, मनुष्य परिस्थितियों का दास नहीं, परम उनका निर्माता, नियंत्रण करता एवं स्वामी है. So this is such a simple thing actually, but because it was always around us, so we learned never to quit. No matter what the challenge, you have to be on top of it. And I would like to say, when we talk about future learners, we basically have to teach them that challenges there will be many, but it depends on how they face those challenges, whether they react or they respond, whether they panic or they face up to them. So it is up to us basically when we are talking about future ready. Actually, I had quite a few points, but I'm a little wary of the clock ticking. So you do give me a little indication if I'm crossing the time. But basically, I feel that if we are able to teach adaptability and resilience to our children, we help them succeed. Now, Sir too said that, but how do we do it? We have to basically teach them how to face different situations. We have to give them challenges so that they are able to find their inner reserves, their strengths. That is necessary. We talk about nurturing critical thinking and problem solving, not an easy task. Quite often, sir, because why I'm referring to these things, we mention these things. We say, we look up to you all as leaders and we see that these are the qualities which are needed. How do you actually nurture those qualities in students? How do you actually give them that strength so that no matter what the challenge, they can stand up to it? I believe you have to present real world problems, engage them in brainstorming situations. Children, whether they are, we generally think about small children. I'm purposely referring to them because that is when we have to start. We all know that cognitive development, we all know actually 80% of it is while they are still in their primary classes. That is where we have to give them the challenges. What actually happens is, in school situations, that the focus, the personalized attention, giving them situations, talking about design-based learning, project-based learning, all this is happening in middle school or senior classes. Whereas, I believe the children actually have the potential to rise up whatever challenges you give them if you do it right when they are 5 or 6 years old. They can find solutions in the known little world. Are we doing that? Are we challenging their intellect? Not when they are 12, 15 or 18, but when they are actually 6 or 7. That is when we have to start. That is when the distractions are many, like Sir said, in today's world. Every teacher knows today she is competing with a screen. Every day, especially COVID times, they were challenging times, but they were actually in a way very, it might seem a contrary thought, but COVID times actually made in the education world a huge shift overnight. What we could not have done with years of training, we were able to do overnight literally, that is move all our teachers onto the technology bandwagon. Because there was no other way, they had to suddenly adapt to this change in time, they had to reach out to the children online. And so suddenly we had teachers who did not know how to use the mobile phone except take calls or send SMS or WhatsApp messages. They were using it to actually teach children through G Student and all that. So that happened. But do I have time? Yeah, thank you. So that happened actually in a way it helped us. We got digital literacy, but India is a vast country. The numbers outpace any planning, any preparation we want to do. So unless we use the technology in a way that we can reach out to the last child, because I'm skipping a few points, that is why it might seem like that, but I'm saying that how can we use, because when we are talking about Viksit Bharat सिर्फ शहरों में नहीं होगा. Viksit Bharat आप ये बहुत ही illustrious institution में बैठे हैं. सिर्फ यहाँ पे विकसित होने से नहीं होगा. We will actually have to reach out to the child in the rural areas. We will have to reach out to those who are what we call the have-nots, who don't have the privileges, who don't have the access to the kind of education you and I get. So when we are talking about Viksit Bharat, how can we bridge the educational divide? That is also an important aspect. How can, I think reference was made to inclusive education earlier. But when we talk about inclusivity, dear school leaders, I'm actually addressing the principals here, the teachers. When we talk about inclusivity, we limit ourselves because we generally think about inclusivity in terms of children with special needs vis-a-vis the normal children. But when we talk about inclusivity in terms of NEP also, we have to see whether we are able to bridge the divide between the rural and the urban, the genders, though we may not feel it, but still there is a lot of gender disparity, whether we are able to ensure that we are, like sir referred to it, that we are not affected by caste, creed, religion, etc. So for all these things, one important aspect, the most important I feel, is teacher empowerment. So as school leaders, as you are focusing on the needs of the students in your schools, what are you doing for the teachers in your schools? Are you providing them the atmosphere, the support, the encouragement, the motivation they need to become the kind of teachers who can create future-ready individuals? For that, I believe the best investment, of course, infrastructure is important in a school, but the best investment that any institution can do, education institution can do, is to invest in its human resources. So I would suggest that, of course, the NEP now mandates, once again I'm going to down to the nitty-gritty, NEP mandates 50 hours of continuous professional development for teachers. All education institutes have to ensure that. But the quality of that instruction, the quality of training, the quality of experiential learning you ensure, the peer interaction you ensure across schooling systems for your teachers, I believe is a better investment in compared to anything else for the school, for any education institution. So investment in teachers' learning, empowering them is one way of ensuring that they can create, because so why I'm mentioning these things, we Kendriya Vidyalayas, as you know, are across the country. Even Lucknow region, which I'm taking care of, has 59 Vidyalayas. And the difference, the quality lies in the teacher capability. You empower your teacher, you enrich them, automatically the entire ecosystem in the Vidyalaya changes. So constant efforts we are making to educate our teachers, not just about what is happening in the country, but abroad, globally. We have teacher exchange programs. Now, thanks to technology, we have virtual exchange programs. And not just with teachers, with students also. There's a lot of activity where we are giving our students and our teachers a chance to interact with people in the same field across the world. And the kind of learning that is happening, and happy to say that learning is not one way. Recently, we had a couple of students coming from the US visiting our schools, and they went back enriched. They shared that many practices which they saw over here, they would like to put into practice in their schools. Similarly, a lot of things we are able to learn from. We talk about Finland, we talk about the US or the UK, but sometimes we are learning more actually from Vietnam and Singapore, the educational systems. And I'm sure those in the schooling system are aware of PISA. PISA is an examination conducted by the OECD for 15-year-olds across the world. Now, only once India had participated in PISA, and sorry to say, India did not fare well. 2 states had represented the country and they did not fare well. And because of that, what happened was that we shied away from participating in that. The whole country as a country. But then a decision was taken and India was to participate in PISA in 2020. Unfortunately, because of COVID, it was put off. And now there are plans that we will participate and Kendriya Vidyalayas will be spearheading that. So as we were preparing and training our teachers for PISA, I realized that basically it is all about competency-based education. So coming back to where I started, we have to move away from the rote learning methods, move to competency-based education, which is, in a nutshell, ensuring that our children are not just able to reproduce what they learn from their textbooks, but they are able to actually rise to whatever challenge in real life is thrown to them and find solutions. So that's it. As I said in a nutshell, we have to focus on the skills of creativity, critical thinking, problem solving, good communication. We also have to promote financial literacy, entrepreneurship amongst the students. We are becoming a country of startups, so we have to succeed there. As principals and educators, I believe you all are change makers. You are the true leaders. Just ensure that leaders are those who create leaders. As long as you're able to do that, I'm sure Viksit Bharat, Jaldi. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for enlightening us with your thoughts and experiences. Now, moving ahead, I would request CEO sir to kindly present a memento and shawl to Sona Seth ma'am for invaluable contributions. Please, sir. A big round of applause, audience. I would request CEO sir to kindly present a memento and shawl to Vikram Singh sir as a token of gratitude. Again, I would request CEO sir to kindly present a memento and shawl to Saraswati sir for his invaluable contribution. Audience, please give a big round of applause. Thank you, sir. Now, I would request Director sir to kindly present a memento and shawl to Arun Mathur sir as a token of gratitude. Audience, please give a big round of applause. Thank you, sir. Moving ahead, now I would request Associate Director Dr. Singh sir for his vote of thanks. Please, sir.
Respected dignitaries, esteemed guests, dear attendees. As we come to the mid of Remarkable Principal Conclave 2025, it's my privilege and honor to extend heartfelt vote of thanks in the capacity of Chairman of Organizing Committee Principal Conclave 2025. First and foremost, I would like to express my deepest gratitude to guest of honor and keynote speaker, Professor Dr. Vikram Singh sir, former DGP Uttar Pradesh and Chancellor Noida International University. For delivering such an impactful and thoughtful promoting address, his word had left a lasting impression on us. Guidance on thoughts on leadership, discipline, and excellence. Thank you very much, sir, for your enlightening speech. Really, it's a very great honor for us. You are providing your valuable time in this principal honor. Our sincere thanks to our guest of honor, Mr. Sona Seth, Deputy Commissioner, Kendriya Vidyalaya Sangathan, Regional Office, Lucknow, for gracing the occasion and sharing a valuable perspective on education and administration. Thank you, ma'am. A special word of appreciation to guest of honor, Colonel Jahid Siddiqui, Sir, PG, Director General of Axis Group, for sharing his knowledge and experiences with us. His work has been a source of inspiration and motivation for everyone present over here. We are immensely grateful our guest of honor, Mr. A.K. Mathur, Senior Vice President, Lucknow Management Association, for taking the time to grace this occasion with his presence. His valuable insight have truly added depth of our discussion. The heartfelt appreciation goes to Shri Saraswati, Secretary and CEO, whose unwavering support and visionary leadership have been instrumental in making this conclave a great success. I would extend my sincere gratitude to Professor Dr. Ashish Bhatnagar, Director of the Institute, for his guidance and giving shape of the event. Our sincere thanks to Professor Dr. B.R. Singh, Director General Technical, for his continuous guidance and blessings. My vote of thanks goes to Director Admin, Dr. Jagdish Singh, for ensuring the seamless execution of this event, and I also appreciate and thanks to Mr. Surel Srivastava, CM of the Institute, for his unconditional support and wonderful logistic management. A special mention to the principal of various colleges who took the time to join us today. Your active participation, thoughtful inputs will truly enrich this conclave. We are also grateful to our sponsors whose generous support has been vital in the making event possible. Your belief in the initiative is truly commendable. We extend our sincere thanks to media personnel. Your effort highlights this conclave will ensure its reach and impact beyond these walls. Thank you very much, all the media personnel. Last but not the least, a big round of appreciation for the organizing committee whose dedication, meticulous planning, and hard work have been ensured that this event is conducted smoothly and successfully. Their effort behind the scene deserves the highest recognition. Thank you much. All the members of the organizing committee. Thank you very much again, all the dignitaries on the dais. Thank you very much.
जबरदस्त टाइम मैनेजमेंट
As we conclude this inaugural session, I would like to thank our guests, speakers, principals, and audience for being a part of this important conversation. Remember, reimagining education is not just a task for policymakers or educators. It's a collective responsibility. Let's work together to create future-ready education system that empowers our youth to build a Viksit Bharat. Thank you, everyone. Thank you to our audience for being the energetic one. Thank you so much. This event has been sponsored by Retd, Co-sponsor Fundamakers, other sponsors Shubh Arya, Hipster, Vrindavan Bottlers Private Limited, Mokush Skin Hair Transplant Clinic, Davachini SS Foods, Royal Air, Zipper Space Web. And I'm feeling very happy and proud to announce that Flora, startup of our BBA first year students, has also sponsored this event. The rose in your hands are a small creation of this startup. Thank you. Audience, please settle down. Panel 1 is going to start in a few minutes. challenges and opportunities of tomorrow. Now, I request following panelists to come on the stage to have their respective seats. Our moderator of first panel, Dr. Malhotra sir. Our eminent panelists, Shri ma'am, Harshna Lumba ma'am, Madhulika Agrawal ma'am, Dr. Mehraj Rahman ma'am, Pooja Lamba ma'am, and Richa Ahuja ma'am. Give them a huge round of applause. Thank you to all. So let's dive into the theme of today's conclave, reimagining education for a Viksit Bharat, preparing future-ready learners. So without further ado, let's welcome our moderator of first panel, Dr. Malhotra sir. He is presently engaged as Regional Head of GEMS Education India. He is an award-winning educational innovator with expertise in Sigma in education, a former principal and educational officer at leading schools, and he has authored over 100 books on education, AI, and quality management. He has developed 150 plus educational apps which are recognized by India Govt records and has conducted 2,000 plus workshops globally. So has also been honored with the President of India's National Teacher Award. He is also a TED speaker and a Udemy instructor with 500 courses. Let's welcome him with a huge round of applause. I request Surendra sir to come on the stage to facilitate sir with a bouquet. Welcome, sir. Thank you, sir. Now let's move to a panel discussion where our esteemed panelists will engage in a thought-provoking conversation on reimagining education. So it's time to welcome our eminent panelists. Let's welcome our first panelist, Mrs. Gunjali Kothari ma'am, founder of Retd. She is passionate to change the healthcare ecosystem by building India's simplest and smartest healthcare that works. I request Director sir to present a bouquet to Gunjali. I request our moderator, Dheeraj sir, to present a bouquet to Gunjali ma'am. Welcome, ma'am. Our next panelist is Mrs. Harshna Lumba, ma'am, who is principal of Delhi MSS Sunbeam School. I request our moderator, sir, to present a bouquet to Dr. Harshna Lumba, ma'am. Thank you, sir. Next panelist is Mrs. Madhulika Agrawal, ma'am, and she is principal of Kunst School, Lucknow. I request sir to present a bouquet to ma'am. Coming on to the next panelist, we have Dr. Mehraj Rahman, ma'am, with us, and she is principal of Birla International School, Pampore, Kashmir. I request sir to present a bouquet to ma'am. Next we have Mrs. Pooja Lamba ma'am, who is principal of Adani GEMS School of Excellence, Lucknow. I request sir to present a bouquet to ma'am. Our last but not the least panelist of first panel is Dr. Viva Ahuja ma'am, principal of Birla Open Minds, Lucknow. I request her to present her bouquet. Thank you, sir. So now it's time for our panel discussion. We have an amazing lineup of experts who will share their insight on preparing future-ready learners. So let's get started. Over to our moderator, Dr. Sir. Now the stage is all yours.
Thank you. Thank you so very much. And I really appreciate your wonderful deliberations. Yes, I think we all have played tongue twister and that happened. Thank you. I wanted to say good morning, but it's good afternoon. Good afternoon to each one of you. And we have heard a lot since morning about the new Viksit Bharat. We also call it developing India or developed India. And there are challenges. Challenges not only from the side of the politicians, from the side of the decision makers, but also the school leaders. And that school leadership has to count, as our chief guest today highly mentioned about the praises we received and the criticism we received, both from the side of our parents and the teachers, once upon a time. But today, if you ignore the child, it has been termed as a violation of human rights. And that is what, for the reason, the first thing I say is that make sure you call the child by the first name to give him a recognition. And how many of us do that is going to be, again, a thought-provoking question. Because the children want recognition. They want it in the class, first time, every time. And that is what we look forward to, sharing about reimagining education with the help of technology, which talks about integrating the spectrum so that the child doesn't sleep with his eyes open in the classroom, which generally he does. And hence, we need to make use of technology in the classroom. How? It is through HI, we call it human intelligence, with the integration of technology. Not exactly artificial intelligence, but the human intelligence in the smartest possible manner. The teachers need to become street smart, not only hard-working. And for that reason, it is high time that we discuss some of the reimagining ideas to run the schools, to run our classroom effectively for the special mention. Friends, reimagining education needs shifting from traditional rote learning to skill-based, adaptive and technology-driven approaches. Now, that technology-driven approaches, we thought of simply using Zoom or particularly using computers to some extent, but now change has really converted itself to cloning of our voices, the speeches, for making these videos comfortable for the children, and they really look forward to having a revamping classroom learning today. One thing which I always say during my sessions also, that the children will like the subject only if he likes or they like the teachers. So the like for the teachers is actually a priority in the classroom, because otherwise they don't say it because they can't dare saying so, bahar in the classroom. So that spectrum has to be rebuilt through speech smart classroom practices, and that is what we need to reflect through the creativity, the terms related to Education 5.0, which relate to digital literacy, the emotional intelligence, the emotional health or the health being of the mental attribute in the classroom. Keeping that fact in view, I would like to initiate the first question for this particular panel discussion through our participant, Mrs. Gunjali Kothari. Madam, the question to you talks about how can parents and the communities contribute to preparing future-ready learners. We just saw the gentleman talk about "Meri nani aisa bolti thi, meri dadi or meri mummy aisa bolti thi." The scenario is pretty different now. We as parents can't dare to speak anything. The other day I was discussing about the initiation about how we should be dealing with our kids, because in the classroom the children just stop wishing you in order to express their dislike for you, right? And henceforth, as a responsible parent, even we need to reflect on how we are going to be communicating with them. So the question to you is, how the parents and the communities contribute to preparing future-ready learners? Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Dheeraj. And thank you, SMS, for arranging this beautiful Principals Conclave and giving me an opportunity to present my views here. When we talk about the contribution of parents, what I see is that our emotional quotient and emotional intelligence is extremely important for our future-ready learners to be developed by parents. And this is where we need parents' involvement. We are trying to bring up our children in such a secure and protected environment that we are not preparing them for enough challenges. And that's where we see a lot of emotional issues, mental issues, societal issues in the children and the adults. So it's very important for giving them a very open mind, giving them choice and voice so that they take decisions. Decision making is an art and it is not taught in class. It has to be given from day one. छोटी सी चीज हो, बच्चे को डिसाइड करने दो कि उसे क्या पहनना है. गलत है तो भी सही है. Let him bear the consequences, and that's where the parents give them the choice and voice. Second point I would like to bring here is safety and security. If I talk about the stats in India, from 0 to 20 years of age, we have 58 crores of population of children, which has declined from last year to 57 crores. But the death rate has increased and doubled from 2% to 4% when we talk about suicide cases. This is really alarming. We have to take care of our student safety, our child's well-being, and it starts from home. Let's be honest. I would like to see a raise of hands. How many of us order from Swiggy and Zomato very often for our children? आज घर में खाना नहीं पसंद आ रहा है, चलो स्विगी कर लेते हैं. It's very convenient. But how many times we have eaten as children outside food? I think maybe not more than once 6 months. And that used to be very exciting for us. आजकल के बच्चों की जो लाइफस्टाइल है, उसकी वजह से लाइफस्टाइल डिजीजेस बढ़ रहे हैं. एक 8 साल की बच्ची जब अहमदाबाद के स्कूल में कार्डियक अरेस्ट से बढ़ जाती है, in the school, this is alarming. Because the kind of food we are giving without seeing the labels to our children, which is convenience, it is filled with preservatives, and let's be honest, that's not giving our future-ready learners the right platform. We have to give a complete holistic environment. As Dr. Vikram Singh said, we have to bring out a complete man or a woman, so it begins with the home itself. Thank you, Dheeraj.
Yeah, really deliberated, and I feel that we need to emulate the best of the practices in order to make it familiar with the children. If we always make it an issue that children please avoid using mobile, that actually showcases a very wrong attribute. And henceforth, ma'am, I agree with you that decision making, creativity, yes, we have to make them open. But today, as you asked, how many of us order food? In fact, the children decide the menu and the children order the food. They just want the Swiggy money. They just want the GPay, and the decision is theirs. And that's the happiness quotient for the majority of the families, in fact. Okay, now we come to Mrs. Harshina Lupa. Ma'am, I take this opportunity need to reflect on the inclusive education, which the lady guest of honor talked about. How can we ensure equity and inclusion while integrating future-ready education? I'm sure you, being a very senior principal, must be reflecting on inclusive education and also the RTE admissions. So, over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Dhiren sir, and thank you, SMS, for calling us here for such insightful discussion. So, like for inclusive education, as far as I see, we need to revamp our curriculum, and we need to be ourselves with the technology, but we need to provide to our students and to kids even. Like these days, I see people say like, "बच्चे को mobile नहीं देना चाहिए," and they will see here and there, and they scroll wrong things. But as far as I see and what is my experience, the students, those who are more mobile friendly or technology friendly, their IQ is much more higher than the other students. So, like for me, it is providing full-fledged use of technology to the students, to the kids. Yes, to some extent, keeping their eyesight also in mind and other things also, their health also, is very, very necessary part of inclusive education and equality. And second is, we need to, like, every time we talk about, we need to get this, that, and all. But there are some, barriers about this for some schools, like they cannot provide. So, education starts from home, like ma'am said, for like parents need to take care the same way. So, first teacher is mother and parent. So, first of all, they need to provide them with the technology and with the atmosphere. They should be okay that the child is using mobile. First, this mindset is necessary to have them to give the things. Secondly, then it comes to schools. So schools need to revamp the curriculum. So they need to redesign the curriculum where all the skills are involved. So there should be a blending of all the skills like data analysis, then AI, then coding, and then other with the subjects. Not as a standalone subject, but it should be inculcated with the subjects. Students should be given the freedom of taking all the streams together. Streams in the sense subjects of streams like English can be incorporated with the science, then humanities. These skills will develop their critical thinking, problem solving skills. So there are many more, like ma'am said earlier, that empowering teachers with trainings and all. Yes, that is a mandatory part of CBSE schools, 50 hours of training. But again, who and how many teachers are religiously doing? How many schools are religiously following? If you talk about, as far as we know, like hardly schools are giving the teachers, sending the teachers to the venues to attend the meetings because they have their own issue. So we need to come out of that because that is a mandatory part of our future learners. So if we take this in our mind, that we are making a future generation ready for the bright future of India. So then only this is possible that as a schools will release the teachers for the trainings and for other things. Yes, and then redesigning the question papers, you need to rethink that, and you need to have holistic development things in the card that where the child should be judged properly and religiously. So there are the certain things which should be mandatory. Thank you, sir.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much. And I'm sure these practices can be shared, executed by the leaders present here. Now I switch to Dr. Madhurika Agarwal. Ma'am, how can we bridge the gap between the classroom learning and the real world skills? I remember the gentleman talked about bridging the gap between the college pass outs and the industry requisite. So, what do you think, like as a school principal, how can we bridge the gap between the classroom learning and the real world? Of course, we do experiential learning, but when it comes to you, over to you, ma'am.
Thank you for that question. Good afternoon, everybody. I think it's a very, very pertinent question that you have put, because we have huge population passing out from schools, going into colleges, and then from colleges getting into the real world scenario. And then, simple example, as school leaders, how many of us find, even while sitting for a basic interview for a teacher, who is employable? You know, that's the kind of gap that we are looking at. I think the best way to bridge the gap is to take them to the real world. And how do we do that? Through internships, through immersion programs. And as we say, catch them young. As Ms. Sona Seth said, you know, that we have started at KVs focusing at the pre-primary, at the primary level. Internships were a thing that people talked at an undergraduate level or a postgraduate level. I think it needs to come down to the school level. In grade 11, 12, 9 and 10, they need to see what the real world out there is like, and we can easily have social impact projects at a grade 9 and 10 level, so that they understand how privileged the children are who are getting a future-ready education, and they can make...
That gives me another curiosity to ask, what type of a social impact project are you having through school?
Yeah, for an example, you look at old age homes, donation drives, you know, you stand for a cause, you stand for a cleaner environment, you work with underprivileged children. For an example, children at our school, you know, we are associated with Saraswati Foundation. They have a lot of yellow rooms. And our children have curated 10 days reading literacy programs, gone and taught those children. Now you understand the impact, how much a child will be impacted going and working out there in the real world scenario. Maybe the child wants to become later on a social worker giving back to the society. At grade 11 and 12, for an example, I may be a commerce student, but then my personality trait might be that I like meeting people, then despite being from the commerce field, the CA and the audit side might not be cut out for me. I might be more suited for a marketing job. But how do I decide that? If I am exposed early with the industry. If I want to become a doctor, can I shadow a doctor to see am I cut out for that profession? And that is the best way to bridge the gap. And I'll take it to another nuance also. All of us sitting here, we all have the salons that we go to, pay very highly to the brands or even the people who come through the urban company. We have a plumber who comes, educated, not educated, but highly skilled, and we are ready to pay them as per their skill. But do we look at these vocations, professions which are completely skill-based with respect? How many of us would be able to function were these skilled workers not available to us? You look at abroad, how highly a plumber is paid and is a purely skilled person. Abroad, people dine out even with the janitor. We are talking of Viksit Bharat. Can we bridge this divide? We talked of rural, bridging the gap between the rural and the urban. Even the house help who comes to us for making our meals may be skilled more than us. Do we treat them with respect? So this is the thought I would like to leave all of you with. कि विकास की परिभाषा क्या है? खाली डिग्रियां या कौशल? और क्या हम जो जिनके पास हुनर है, कौशल है, क्या हम उनको इज्जत देने के लिए तैयार है? If we are ready to do that, वाकई में तभी विकसित भारत will be a reality. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Well said. And that's what understanding the reality is, that we need to recognize not only the efforts of individuals, but individuals. I recall the post-COVID era where we recognized people, whether they were paramedical people or probably selling tea or any type of recognition. That time was the need. And henceforth, as ma'am said, we can only talk about developed India and developing India, but we need to recognize the talents and the people who, wear those talents and exhibit accordingly. Now we move to our next panelist, Dr. Manaz Rahman. Ma'am, looking forward to the power of technology today, we are very much, I would say, fascinated by its usage. And all of us are integrated. Probably the only difference is that we don't wear the phone. We don't wear the SIM, but we are handful to it anytime, every time. So keeping that fact in view, what role does technology play in preparing students for the future?
Thank you, Dheeraj, for inviting principals actually on this board. So I would request everyone to stand up for 1 second. Half of the population is sleeping, so the communication gap is there. So we need to make this conference more powerful because it's very important. Why is it important? I will talk about it. Rub your hands. Everyone, please. Close your eyes. Say Jai Hind. Jai Hind. Close it. Now they put your hands there. Now this is one letter. You will never forget me now. We will not forget the face. And one more pledge. You will not clap. Because if you want to add something to the environment, you are adding noise to the environment. So I stopped in my school kids don't clap, they do this. So we are talking about SDG 4. See, usually in Hindustan we speak a lot, but we don't actually preach it, We speak, लेकिन हम कुछ करते नहीं हैं. You can please take your seats now. I will take you 3 minutes extra, Dheeraj sir. Please don't mind it, because I've come all the way from Kashmir for this conference only. So all else here, I have 4 or 5 colleagues here. Dilshadji, you can take my picture. So I have 4 or 5 colleagues here who are from the degree college, right? Raise your hands. So they know me. I have Miss Suman also. She also happens to know. She knows me very well. So why I'm saying this? मेरा जो जाती ताल्लुक रहा है वो मैनेजमेंट कॉलेज से है. I'm from XLR in Jamshedpur. जो भी MBA किए होंगे they know it what is XLR. तो जब मैंने एक corporate world को छोड़ के when I entered into this degree sections, so I used to fight with my inter-college principals. We had a group of schools. I used to say, you send me raw kids, Dheeraj sir. Kindly understand. I used to tell me, आप मुझे raw kids भेजते हो in degree college. I can understand the pain of MBA teachers. So I said, hey, what will I teach them? How will I get the result? Or what are you expecting? I will get the placement done? No, I need to teach them first. मुझे पहले इनको सिखाना, because I see, I can read the face being, I'm a psychiatrist also. Many people out there are educated, but they're not able to understand whatever the speaker says because there's a communication gap. So you need to understand the ground reality. Number 1. There, I made a shift in my mind. I said, no, the problem lies somewhere in the school. It's not in the college. It's not with the teacher. Management, they take a hunter, it takes time. It's not possible. It's a three-way communication, listening, speaking, and all more follows are required there. You cannot expect it to you will make them understand how to speak fluent English.
I turned back and I know I started my school journey. It was fresh. It was raw. I learned a lot. I literally worked hard. You know, there is where actually I believe there is a big gap. There are problems and prospects and future strategies. The future strategies are there in our hand as a leader, that is MEP 2020, which clearly states the technology, the word technology. Everything rounds around the technology. Now, technology is not only, as Veer said, Zoom. Technology is not that you're able to, create your Instagram account. No, technology is beyond everything. Technology lies with the school leaders when they will frame the pedagogical plannings. For example, if I have to frame the pedagogical, and it's for, by the way, it's for the management college also, because our Ramchandra sir used to tell us about the HR policies. So the technology is incorporated in the pedagogical policies. You cannot escape it. So jab tak school level say, we cannot expect, I will give a very small example, even मैंने वो लिखा भी है. For example, everyone knows learning by doing. जानते हैं क्या होता है? Hands-on learning, right? We usually say it's hands-on learning. It's a very casual definition, we know. But when we will break this hands-on learning in our pedagogical planning, it will give us, and we say that how will we create a competency in a classroom of, let's say, grade 3rd or grade 1 or grade 8, what will we do? We will incorporate VR. Am I right? How can we, how technology is it's a crucial thing for us now. We cannot get away. It's a very beautiful definition written by Sama. Technology is not a tool, it's rather the driver of educational change. So congratulations to all the educators out there. So we all are we are giving you the buzz, and we'll be sharing more and more buzz with you. We will groom them up and make them professionals, and we hope that we can bridge that gap, as well as we can incorporate those technology-based pedagogies in our pedagogies. That's how we can bring the change, and we can make it Viksit. It's not only technology only. Kindly इसको technology के साथ आप मत जोड़िए. ये सब कुछ चाहिए. Kitchen से लेकर बाहर से लेकर job के बाद शादी. So it revolves around the circle. So it's a big thing. It's a very small word, but it's a very great sense of definition. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. You discussed about the reality of life, and of course we integrate technology, but of course there are many other skills which are a requisite, like that of communication, like that of decision making, the commitment to quality, that yes, I'm going to learn, and my belief is that I'm going to learn through technology. You discussed about VR, which is virtual reality. There is an add-on to it which says AR, which is augmented reality. Now, augmented reality is such a technology where you integrate the real object with the virtual object. Right? We can have a lion in the class in this room, along with all of us sitting over here. So that will be like a scenario created, and of course we'll have to wear special glasses for that to be a party to it. So this kind of an environment, as ma'am shared, is highly praised by the children, and they don't forget of what they learn, rather than mugging up things as the very education 5.0. I mentioned earlier that we need to talk about the curiosity and children being the curators. Now we move to the next speaker, Dr. Vibha Ahuja. Ma'am, how can the education system shift from traditional method to future-focused learning be integrated in the classroom or among the parents in the society? Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Dheeraj, and a very good afternoon to everyone here. Daily when I go towards my work and when I head towards my school, I always see those little students, like hundreds of students, they are going to this school, and that makes me all the more responsible towards them and my future. जब इन छोटे बच्चों को देखते हैं, then that feeling is there कि how much are they dependent on us? Their future, their life is in our hands. So ऐसा कहा जाता है कि अगर अपना if we have to make our future, so सबसे पहले हमें अपने कल के लिए आज को बदलना होगा. आज को and अभी को. We have to change everything right now. So the shift from the traditional teaching to the modern day teaching is a must. अभी कल का एक वाक्य है कि हमारे स्कूल में एक छोटा सा बच्चा आया था about -3 somewhere, 2 years, 9 months of the age, and उससे हमने 5 pens रखे हुए थे different colors, and I asked the child the different colors names actually. So red को black बोला, black को green बोला, blue को red बोला, so not all different colors. I said very good, very very good. You did a great job, and the child was in all his minds. इतना ज़्यादा खुश था वो बच्चा, as if he has achieved something. What have I given? Nothing. But a smile, a future. जो वो बच्चा हमेशा एक confidence carry करेगा अपने साथ. It's just that. जो आगे आने वाला the education which is coming forward now and which we have started following also these days. It's just that. थोड़ा सा change. And those changes can be in the curriculum, the way we are planning our curriculum. Of course, we have started giving changes to it, but we need little more changes with acceptance. Acceptance नहीं है अभी हमारे बीच में. हमारी teachers, we and few of us also as the principals, we always say, क्या है ये करना पड़ता है वो करना पड़ता है. There's a lot of pressure on us, but actually थोड़ा सा acceptance, थोड़ा सा patience. That is all our future needs. And the technology integration in our curriculum. That is HI, AI, VR, and coding, like various technologies that we have to integrate in our system. Integrated learning, if I talk about, so all the subjects, when we are making the projects, when we are teaching them, how to हमने मैथ्स क्यों पढ़ा? When I am an English teacher, so why did I study maths? So वो चीज़ बच्चों को पढ़ाना है. जब एक English teacher या biology teacher क्लास में जाता है, then the teacher just has to tell them what that subject can take him to. The vocation, क्या वो कर सकता है अपने future में? That's it. एक subject पढ़ाइए, बच्चों को साथ-साथ बताते रहिए कि बच्चों बायो पढ़ोगे तो ये होगा, केमिस्ट्री पढ़ोगे, so these are the future prospects for you. That is it. The children are not confused that ways. आज पूछ ले engineer बनना होता है, doctor बनना होता है, I.P.S, PCS, then teacher, okay, and then lawyer, all right, फिर then okay, I see, and Google आते हैं वहाँ पर हमारे. तो ये चीज़ हम लोग कर सकते हैं कि हमारे Google हम लोग खुद बन सकते हैं. So बच्चों को अपने साथ साथ ये चीज करा सकते हैं. Then one is thoughts, higher order thinking skills. So उनको सोच दें, उनको analyze करने की क्षमता दें. We have to make them think. How to think? How to think is the only thing we have to do. That's it. उनको बताना ही है कि क्या करना है, उन्हें बताना है कैसे सोचना है. That's it. And we are the facilitators, not the teachers. And these students are the learners and the thinkers and the analysts, not the students at all. और बस last में ये कहूँगी कि इन बच्चों को real world problems solving skills we have to teach them, and which is the critical thinking. क्या कर सकते हैं? Because सिर्फ किताबों में मत ढूंढो. दुनिया भी एक बड़ी पाठशाला है. उनको दुनिया में भेजिए, बहुत बड़ी पाठशाला है. जानती जिंदगी में क्या हो रहा है, we can learn through these skills. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, ma'am. And you really touched upon so many curious points, which I think we, the educators, need to look forward to in the classroom. And not only their critical thinking skills, but also engaging them, as you mentioned about the teacher's role in the classroom. When the teacher is teaching a subject, that the teacher has to bring out an interest in the classroom that, see, this subject will lead you to this career, which has these benefits. And this is the role model of this particular career, you know. So I think this type of a real life story, or probably a storytelling format with a reflective, measured character, you make sure that you make your classroom teaching interesting. Thank you very much, ma'am. And now we move to our next speaker, who is Mrs. Pooja Lamba. Pooja, ma'am. The question to you talks about future-ready learners. Now, future-ready learners can only be made or developed when we are future-ready teachers with new models of teaching and making a wow spectrum in the classroom. Like जब आप जाएं class में तो लगे कि wow, you know, wow will only come, the aha moment will only come when we make the children feel good in the classroom. So how do you think, ma'am, that we can make it happen in the classrooms of today? Because when the teacher is going in the classroom, the children already know what the teacher is going to teach, because we are using concepts like flipped learning, flipped teaching, and many other things, because the power of technology has already proved that they are the learners by themselves. So what do you think the teacher should do, number one, and what does future-ready learners mean to you? Over to you.
Thank you so much, sir, for asking this question, which is very close to my heart. Good afternoon, everyone. Myself, Pooja Lamba, Principal of Adani GEMS School of Excellence. This is a new school, which is a collaboration between Adani and GEMS, which is now open at Deva Road. And we'll be beginning with our first academic session from 2025. Back to the question that sir has asked. I personally feel in order to teach future-ready learners, we need to be future-ready educators. And it is very important for all the future learners. I take even educators as learners, because it's very important for all of us to keep learning and evolving in order to teach our young adults. Because we don't believe in calling them learners or children, they are actually young adults. If you want to teach 21st century learners, you always have to be ready to learn. So I personally feel it is very important for all of us to be adept with right knowledge and skills in order to sustain and prepare our young adults for future, because ultimately they will be the one who will be the global citizens and future leaders. So as we, I've been hearing this since the time I entered this hall, and I was all in awe and mesmerized by what Kanalji said, by what that lady, Ms. Sona ji said, that we all as educators, we always say that we believe in holistic education. Holistic education is not only about teaching respective subjects, teaching them both scholastics, involving them in different activities. It is all about teaching them different literacies. It is teaching them emotional literacy. We need to see that children should be well equipped with emotional literacy, social literacy, financial literacy, and digital citizenship. We have, in most of the schools, we have all the required resources. But as leaders, it is very important for each one of us to see the maximum utilization of those resources, right? So it flows from top to bottom. So we need to be well organized, ready to learn, and give that freedom to our educators. Because ultimately, the magic flows from educators. They are the ones who make learning happen in the classroom. If we will not get learning happen in the classroom and we will only believe in teaching, that is just one-way traffic, children will never take interest in your classes. We need to be facilitators rather than being educators. We need to give that freedom to our children to learn by doing. The first thing which is very important to make them learn by doing is to not make them sit separately. We need to have collaborative seating arrangement inside the classrooms, right from EY, that is early years, till the senior most classes. Because unless and until the children will have group studies, they will not have group discussions, they will not be able to learn. We always tell them how to think, which is not right. We should give them the liberty to think. Because when too many minds, too many children, they will start thinking. They will come up with ideas that we can't even think of. The moment a child is born, we tell them that this is a paper you need to draw. But they are never interested in drawing on a sheet of paper that we give as mothers. They always love to scribble on the walls. Because for them, they don't believe in small things. For them, this world is very big. They are full of creativity, enthusiasm, and they always want to explore and explore. We don't let them explore. We always tell them that this is the sheet, this is how you have to draw a scenery. We all have learned how to draw a scenery in the same way. Draw mountains in V shape. There should be a sun. You can just, maybe you might have been asked to make some eyes and a smiling face to that sun, a river flowing through those mountains, a brown hut. Why always a mountain has to be brown? Why the trees always green? You give a sheet of paper and tell a 3-year-old child to do or draw whatever he or she wants to. You won't like what she has drawn, but you ask that child to explain what she's drawn. She will come up with beautiful ideas that we can't even think. The other day I was interacting with a child. She gave me a gift the moment she left our school. She was there for an interaction and admission. And I asked her, I said, what have you drawn? So she said, ma'am, it's a sunflower. And it had all the rainbow colors in it. So I said, but I haven't seen this sunflower. Can you tell me where have you seen? So she took 2 minutes. She said, ma'am, I have not seen it anywhere, but this is how I see a sunflower. Because it has rainbow colors and I love playing with colors. And there were rainbow color hearts who were actually admiring that sunflower. So that was the imagination, the creativity of a 5-year-old girl. So we should not limit the thought process, the thinking process of our children. As students, they have a lot to explore. So we should give them that freedom. The other thing, we believe that there are 3 things which are very important for actual learning to happen. We all know that parents are our first teachers, then is the teacher himself or herself, and then is the environment. Unless and until we have these 3 things, a child cannot learn. I'm sorry, a young adult cannot learn.
Okay, right. So I really appreciate your wonderful inputs, ma'am. And I feel that this is the way you mentioned about the sunflower thing. The children should be given that out-of-box thinking opportunity. Think of your sunflower and draft it, design it. And that's really wonderful. I think the teachers or the principals should motivate the teachers there to give them that freedom of making their own spectrum. And that is what for we are there. We are there to motivate, as we call it. The more we learn, the more we earn in terms of honor, recognition, and pride. And the same happens with the children also. The same happens with the children, because the children, they learn with the yesterday's knowledge and they upgrade it like another microprocessor of a supercomputer probably, right? So thank you very much, ma'am. I take it from here. And before we close this round of panel discussion, I would just like to have one word or probably one input of how to make classroom interesting for the kids. Just one sentence, starting from Dr. Ahuja. Over to you, ma'am. So that we have few takeaways for your teachers, how to make the classroom interesting for the children. Over to you.
Very easy. Just take from their point of view and give them not a work, not a task, but a playway method to just complete some work. So once they enjoy doing something in the class, so definitely bang on and they learn, the learning will be more.
Thank you. Over to you.
Mine will be more exciting.
Yeah.
So I was given that lesson plan in my degree college 7 years back. Now it's named as Engage model. That time I was not knowing what exactly it is. I was just doing it out of my own will. But now it's called Engage model of lesson planning. You cannot expect, and you should not expect, that I don't expect it that my class has to be silent. No. अगर बच्चा शैतानी नहीं कर रहा है तो that means there is nothing is going. बच्चा जितना चिल्लाएगा उतना ही you make sure that the classroom is engaging. You cannot expect it that a pin drop silence will make it more engaging. So again, the 5E model is something which is well practiced, well executed, and beautifully, we get a beautiful evaluation system there. And one more thing, Deepak, I'm sorry. But the takeaway is we know it. Like, okay, fine, we have always learning, but the most important thing is what is the audience? Like, who is the audience? Sorry, who is the audience? Audience को ये लेके जाना है. I mean, audience 90 इधर टीचर सर लोग बोल रहे थे. Fine. So मेरे takeaway सर और मैम से जो है वो मैं करूँगी because I make sure that मैं notes बनाती हूँ. But once you go back to your home or to your job, what are your takeaways? कि आप अपने इन चीजों don't treat us कि हम लोग school principals हैं. Fine. It's about that we are educators. So are you. Maybe you're teaching graduate students, or maybe MBA students, and we are taking care of little parts from secondary to senior secondary. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Over to you.
I come from a network of 1,000+ startups. This ecosystem is very important where we want more of futurepreneurs. And I believe that all the principals here, you are right now responsible to generate more and more futurepreneurs for the startup ecosystem. India is ranking number 3 in terms of producing unicorns. And USA is number 1. And the numbers are just double. And I'm sure by 2047, we will touch them. So what I request is that today's students need more challenges because their attention span is very, very small. So you have to make things challenging for them. How you can do that? I propose that if we can give an assignment of creating a dummy startup or a dummy website where they do the email automation, they run their own ads, they do their own marketing, and then you can have a small junior Shark Tank pitches. This will build a lot of interesting conversations. We will learn a lot of ideas from them. And also another thing that I would like to propose is that in my startups, in my companies and the founders ecosystem that I know, we don't use PowerPoint anymore. We want Canva. If you are using, that's great, and that is what you have to teach students. If a student is coming with ChatGPT assignment, how would you like it? Would you condemn the student or will you appreciate it? Because we tell all our employees you have to embrace ChatGPT. So it's very important. I think it's a great opportunity. You guys have to leverage it. You are having the futurepreneurs in your hands. Please give them the right tools and give them the freedom and the liberty.
Thank you. I really love the word futurepreneurs. And I think the very next time I address assembly of school students, I would use that word as futurepreneurs. Thank you so very much, ma'am. Over to you.
So one word for making the class interactive is experiential learning. I believe only and only in experiential learning because that is the way where you can, groom our students. Like give them practical knowledge, give them lab knowledge, give them open ground, give them open classrooms for the open discussions and other education. So experiential learning is the one word.
Wonderful, wonderful. Can we imagine a classroom without a teacher?
Yes.
At times the teachers are not there. We have proxy teachers going in the classroom. At that time, we can even imagine, because in any case, robots are doing that job in schools where the teachers offer scarcity. The robots are going and teaching. So the children are in any case accepting that as a challenge. But think of a classroom where there is no teacher and one child is addressing others and there is the peer learning taking place. And futurepreneurs are in making. Thank you. Over to you, ma'am.
I personally feel happiness, curiosity, creative thinking, critical thinking, and collaboration. All these things are very important for for a class to be a happy learning place. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
I would say drop the book, go to the concepts, let every child experience. And that is going to, fire the curiosity in a child. Start with a problem, let the children explore the solution.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So I think please clap for them. We are using as previous or we can use what Mathur said about this. Yes.
Sir, just
Yeah.
one thing
Please,
I want
please.
to mention.
Please.
We all have mentioned what we are planning. Now the students are here. Maybe have just one student and we want to know what exactly do you want from us. So आपको क्या चाहिए हमसे? हमने तो बताया हम आपको क्या दे रहे हैं. May I have just one student over here who can guide us or who can
volunteer.
yeah, somebody who can volunteer over here. आपको क्या चाहिए? हम लोगों से the education system. Please come.
Yes. Okay. Curiosity mounts.
As all the students have different career goals, so I just want guidance that how each and every student can get a direct, shortcut route, or there's not a shortcut route for anything, right? Like a straightforward route towards their career goals.
Okay, so you said it directly. Nobody will there. And that too of a great takeaway.
Yes, I'm a B student, so my
Very
pride
good,
is
of
to get a
course.
job right now.
Now these days, just to help you, that college admissions, they go, and the students are asking the admission officers of these universities, sir, how much is the pay package? Then I will decide whether I should take admission over there or not. So they are not targeting their identity, their level of, matching of knowledge. They are asking how much was the last pay package of your alumni, of your students, So I think we need to gear up, and these are no more kids, as Madam said, young adults. So young adults, we salute you and we look forward to delivering what you aim for. Thank you very much, and thank you all the wonderful members. Yes. Yeah. Okay, you can talk to her in private. Probably she's the yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
She has the right to say this.
So we need to catch our result also. The answer is, once I was coming, एक बच्चा मुझे मिला था. So I said, what are we doing? He said, civil. So I said, what will we do in civil? So he said, how करेंगे? And then I said, what is the topic? Right? He said, what are the technology? How will you incorporate your civil engineering into technology? She gave the answer actually. You got the answer actually. The answer is, how will you be futurepreneurs? And how will you be futurepreneurs? Even you being a civil engineer can create your websites. Even you being a civil engineer can create your work. Even you being a civil engineer, you don't need contractors. Right? You don't need contract.
Okay, right. Thank you very much. I'll not take longer. Thank you very much. There's another panel due next to it. So thank you very much, and we look forward to learning more.
I will love to take it.
Okay, you want us to be there?
I don't want this.
Wait, be there. Over to you. Thank you.
Thank you to all the eminent panelists for sharing their expertise and insights. And as we conclude this conclave, I would like to express my gratitude to our speakers, panelists, and participants for their valuable contribution. So now, I request our moderator, Dr. Malhotra sir, to present a shawl and memento to the panelists as token of gratitude and respect. Firstly, to Vidyalaya ma'am. Now, Pooja Lamba ma'am. Now, Dr. Mehraj Rahman ma'am. Now, Vandana Agrawal ma'am. Now, last but not the least, Miss Harshna Lumba ma'am. Sorry, Gulfini Kothari ma'am. Thank you, sir. Now I would like to invite Director sir to come on the stage and facilitate Malhotra sir with shawl and memento.
Thank you so much, sir. I just would have earlier.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. Before carrying the momentum of this conclave forward, again I would like to extend our gratitude to Flashhead, Ready for Tomorrow, for their generous support for today's conclave. Co-sponsor and funder makers, associate sponsors are Shubh Arya, Hipster, Vrindavan Bottles Private Limited, Mukosh Skincare Transplant Clinic, Dalchini SS Food, Royal Egg, Sipair Spare Web. A huge thank you for making this event possible. And I'm more than happy to share that BBA students of our college only have started their startup named as Flora. Now we are about to start our panel 2. Again, I would like to extend our gratitude to our sponsors, Flashhead, Ready for Tomorrow, for their generous support for today's conclave. Co-sponsor are Fundamentals, associate sponsors are Shubh Arya, I.P.S, Vrindavan Bottles Private Limited, Mokosh Skincare Private Limited, Mokosh Skincare Transplant Clinic, Dalchini SS Foods, Royal Inn, Shipyard Spare Web. A huge thank you for making today's conclave possible. Our second panel will start in next 2 minutes. So now, let us carry the momentum of this conclave forward. Now, I am inviting Shruti to host our second panel. Thank you. So this event is sponsored by Flash 8 and co-sponsor Funda Makers and associate sponsor Shubh Arya, I.P.S, Vrindavan Bottlers Private Limited and Mokosh Skincare Transplant Clinic and Dalchini SS Foods, Royal Inn, Sona Seth and Flora, who made this event possible. We will be going to start the next panel in 2 minutes.
The future of India lies in its ability to harness the potential of its youth. By reimagining education, we can equip our learners with the skills, creativity, and critical thinking necessary to drive innovation and progress. And with that inspiring thought, let's welcome everyone to this event. So good afternoon, respected dignitaries and dear guests. I hope you all are doing well. I, Shri Gupta, a student of MBA first year, on behalf of the School of Management Sciences, Lucknow, is going to host this panel discussion on topic Reimagining Education for a Viksit Bharat, preparing future-ready learners. So may I request Dr. Manjula Upadhyay ma'am, Ms. Lata Singh ma'am, Dr. Manju Lakhanpal ma'am, Dr. Megha Sharma ma'am, and Ms. Poonam Gautam ma'am, and Dr. Vijay Nagesh sir to kindly come on the stage and take their respective seats. So, may I request Dr. Manjula Upadhyay ma'am, Ms. Lata Singh ma'am, and Dr. Manju Lakhanpal ma'am, Dr. Megha Sharma ma'am, Ms. Poonam Gautam ma'am, and Dr. Vijay Nagesh sir to kindly come on the stage and take their respective seats. And Vinod Chandra sir also. Now, without further ado, let's welcome our moderator for this panel of discussion, Dr. Manjula Upadhyay, who is the principal of Noida Kanya Mahavidyalaya, Lucknow, and the president of Sharda Prasad Tiwari Memorial Trust. Now, I would request respected director, Dr. Ashish Patnagar sir, to present a bouquet to our guest. Thank you, sir. Now let's welcome the eminent panelist, Mr. Vinod Chandra sir, who is the principal of JNPG Lucknow. I would request respected moderator ma'am to present a bouquet to sir. Thank you, ma'am. Let's welcome our next panelist, Ms. Lata Singh, who is the principal of DAD Public School, Amethi. I would request respected moderator ma'am to present a bouquet to ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Let's welcome the next panelist, Dr. Manju Lakhanpal, who is the principal of I.P.S. Shri, Lucknow. I would request moderator ma'am to present a bouquet to ma'am. Next we have Dr. Megha Sharma, who is the director of our public school, Lucknow. I would request moderator ma'am to present a bouquet to ma'am. Please put up applause for ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Let's welcome the next panelist, Ms. Gautam, who is the principal of State M.R. Jaipuria School, Kanpur Road, Lucknow. I would request moderator ma'am to present a bouquet to ma'am. Next we have Dr. B.J. Nagesh, a renowned CBSE mentor, principal and career counselor. I would request moderator ma'am to present a bouquet to sir. Thank you, sir. And now I would request Dr. Manjula ma'am to moderate the session and engage the conversation. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Welcome, person, people on dais, respected people, principals from different schools and degree college, Professor Vinod Chandra, my senior. I welcome audience also who are esteemed guests as principals, directors, teachers, and my friend Surabhi also. As we are here to discuss reimagining education, what changes we need for Viksit Bharat. For Viksit, when we talk about Viksit Bharat, the term point for Amrit Kal, that is 2047, we aim that we will lead India to Viksit Bharat. And for that, we have some targets, which some are quantitative targets, that is high economic growth in terms of percentage, and in terms of per capita income should also increase. So, education, health, these are qualitative changes, and human development index. Through Human Development Index, we need quantitative and qualitative changes both. And for that, literacy, increasing the literacy rate, that is for primary and secondary education, we need that 100% GR should be reached. And for higher education, we have target in NEP that 50% gross enrollment should be there. Sure, so I will welcome Professor Vinod Chandra sir, Dr. B.J. Nagesh ji, Principal, Dainik Jagran School, my friend and colleague, Ms. Gautam, Principal, State M.R. Jaipuria, Ms. Megha Sharma, and who are also Principal of Avadh Public School, Manju Lakhan Pal ji, Principal, I.P.S. Shri, Lucknow, and Miss Latazi. I welcome all my esteemed panelists, and I will start with Professor Vinod Chandra sir, that when we talk about Viksit Bharat, do you think that the target we have set for 2047, we will move on that road faster? And what role does education play, and that also higher education, because you belong to a you are principal of a big college, JMPG college. So what goals need to be set?
Thank you, Manjuladi. First of all, I would like to pay my gratitude to the School of Management Sciences, SMS, for organizing such a wonderful conclave, principals conclave, from the last 3 or 4 years. A special thanks to Shraddhaji, the mentor of this college, and his whole team. Secondly, the topic which you have chosen here and you are discussing as a panelist, first of all, I would like to admit myself that I am the late entry in this panel. A few minutes ago, I have been asked to sit here, and being principal of the college, I have quite long experience of working with the educational institutions, so I readily accepted. And thirdly, the Manjula ji, who happens to be the moderator, is quite energetic principal of girls PG college here in the city of Lucknow. So this is really a proud moment for me to share few views on this particular topic of Viksit Bharat. what you said here, or what you wanted to discuss with this panel, that how we can move forward to Viksit Bharat by 2047, which was set by our Honorable Prime Minister. And in the panel before this, and even in the inaugural session, when Vikram Singh was speaking, and the first panel was trying to portray a picture of Viksit Bharat, it was clearly comes out from the panel that Viksit Bharat, to bring the dream of Viksit Bharat, educationists play a very important role. Because Viksit Bharat is not only the Bharat where we have machines, we have infrastructure in terms of road development, or the softwares, or all technological developments are not going to make us a Viksit Bharat. But until unless we develop a human being as a happy human being in this world, and this is what the whole Viksit Desh, other Viksit Desh means the developed, so-called developed countries are now coming back to the content of happiness. So this is very pertinent to think on Viksit Bharat with the infrastructural development or the economic prosperity. But at the same time, we should bring the morals and happiness, which was the very important element of our education system. So we have to, if we have to bring, as you said, क्या ये हम किस तरह से achieve कर सकते हैं through the education. I firmly believe that education system, or the right from the primary to the higher education, we all are big contributors to change the country India as Viksit Bharat or Viksit developed country in terms of our the human resource as a happy resource. हम लोगों को इस समय जो new education policy आई, that the whole spirit of the new education policy is talking about the new form of learning and autonomy, educational autonomy of the in the institutions. We should give some autonomy to the teachers, to the parents, to the students, to the institutions, and through autonomous institutions we can contribute to the the goal of the development in India, or तभी हम विकसित भारत कर सकते हैं. Here I would like to underline one point only, because अभी लंबा डिस्कशन आप करेंगे. हम firm believe करते हैं कि अगर हमारा हिंदुस्तान में हम educational institutions को autonomy दें, हम educational institutions में थोड़े से structural reforms करें, जिसमें open learning system हो, और number 2, एक जैसे अभी एक पिछले सत्र में हमारे मॉडरेटर महोदय ने एक लाइन में लास्ट में पूछा था पैनलिस्ट से कि कौन सा एक लाइन में आप बताइए कौन सा तरीका हो सकता है क्लास को इंटरेस्टिंग करने का. तो मैं उसी सेंटेंस को आगे बढ़ाते हुए ये कह सकता हूँ कि now the time has come when teachers and principals are not supposed to take their student along with them, rather than they have to go along with the students. ये एक transition, एक transformation की stage है, जहाँ हमें student के along जाना है, ना कि student को अपने along लेना है. अगर ये change of mind हमारे teachers में, हमारे principal, मैं teacher भी हूँ और principal तो बाद में हूँ, मैं अपने को पहले teacher मानता हूँ. मैं अपने teacher से हमेशा कहता हूँ कि क्लास में जाइए तो डोंट गो एंड वन वे या मोनोलॉग टाइप का नहीं होना चाहिए. यू शुड गेट अलोंग विद द स्टूडेंट्स, और स्टूडेंट से पूछिए. जैसे अभी आपने पूछा ना एक पैनल में, लास्ट पैनल में कहा किसी पैनलिस्ट ने कि स्टूडेंट क्या चाहता है. Like this, every institution come forward to ask the choices of the student. Therefore, when the UNCRC came in 1989 में उसने ये कहा था कि पार्टिसिपेटरी एजुकेशन की रिक्वायरमेंट. अगर हम स्टूडेंट को पार्टिसिपेटरी एजुकेशन नहीं देंगे, जिसमें स्टूडेंट्स का पार्टिसिपेशन इंश्योर नहीं करेंगे, तब तक वो हेल्दी एटमॉस्फेयर नहीं होगा, वो हैप्पी एटमॉस्फेयर नहीं होगा। तो वो हैप्पी एटमॉस्फेयर में वो लर्निंग जो चाहिए वो नहीं मिलती, और जब हैप्पी एटमॉस्फेयर में एक खुशनुमा माहौल में बच्चा सीखता है तो वो अपने फुल पोटेंशियल्स को एक्सप्लॉइट करता है। तो आज जरूरत है हमारे एजुकेशनल इंस्टीट्यूशन में पूरे इकोसिस्टम को चेंज करने की, और इसमें टीचर्स का बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट रोल है, प्रिंसिपल्स का बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट रोल है। हमारा जो कन्वेंशनल माइंडसेट है, एज ए स्टूडेंट ऑफ सोशियोलॉजी आई ऑलवेज give emphasis on the change of mindset. कम्युनिटी का जो माइंडसेट है कि अरे बच्चा है अभी ये क्या जानेगा, ये वाला माइंडसेट चेंज करके हमें उसको एजेंट के रूप में, एवरी चाइल्ड इज अ एजेंट इन इटसेल्फ, और हर बंदा, हर व्यक्ति, जैसे मैं अपने आप में एजेंट हूँ ना, तो मैं यहाँ अपनी बात को एक्सप्रेस करूँ, वैसे ही बच्चा भी एजेंट इन इटसेल्फ है, एक्टर इन इटसेल्फ है, और वो एक्टर ऑफ हिज ओन राइट है। आपकी तुलना में वो कम हो सकता है, लेकिन अपनी उम्र के अनुरूप वो एक अपना कंप्लीट एजेंट है। ये जो रिकॉग्निशन चाइल्ड को, स्टूडेंट को कैंपस में नहीं मिलेगी, तब तक हम उसको वो लर्निंग या उसमें जो वो इनपुट्स हैं जो सिस्टम में वो दे सकता है वो नहीं होता, तो पार्टिसिपेटरी नहीं हो पाती। और यही हिंदुस्तान की सबसे कमी रही हमारे एजुकेशन सिस्टम में, जो मैंने 40 साल 38 साल टीचिंग में, और उसके अलावा उसके पहले जो मेरा खुद का स्टूडेंट यूथ डेज था, उसमें मैंने ये पाया कि देयर इज अ बिग गैप। एक तरफ हम बैठते हैं, मतलब प्रिंसिपल, टीचर, एजुकेशनल एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर, और दूसरी तरफ बैठते हैं स्टूडेंट। देयर इज अ गैप, मेंटल गैप। इस मेंटल गैप को फिल करना होगा, क्योंकि मैंने यूरोप में भी बहुत साल काटे, 5-6 साल में रहा, मैं मेरे बच्चे वहां में देख रहा हूँ कि उनके सिस्टम में जो इन्वॉल्व टीचिंग है, और जो उसमें उन्होंने इनोवेटिव तरीके से वो किया। हमारे पास करिकुला बहुत अच्छा है, हमारे पास एक्सीलेंट टीचर्स है, हमारे पास इंफ्रा बहुत अच्छा है, लेकिन जो मेंटल ब्लॉक बना हुआ है इसको दूर करने की जरूरत है। और थ्रू प्रिंसिपल्स इनिशिएटिव, थ्रू टीचर्स इनिशिएटिव वी कैन डू इट। एंड मैं आपको लास्ट में ये कहूंगा कि हम विकसित भारत तभी कर सकते हैं जब हम इस ट्रांजिशन पीरियड में ओवरकम करें और स्टूडेंट्स को पार्टिसिपेटरी बनाएं, हम उनके पोटेंशियल्स को एक्सप्लॉइट करने के लिए ये जो पूरा कैंपस है, मैं बार-बार अपने स्टूडेंट से, टीचर से कहता हूं मैम, और यहाँ सारे लोगों से, कि हमारी नौकरी न होती यदि मेरे कॉलेज में विद्यार्थी ना। The whole identity of a teacher or a principal is on the students. अगर हम स्टूडेंट ना हो, अपने कैंपस से निकाल दें, तो वो कैंपस वीरान, हमारे बहुत अच्छे जो ऑफिसेज हैं, हमारे अच्छे इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर में रूम्स हैं, वो सब बेकार हैं अगर छात्र और छात्राएं नहीं। तो हमें ये देखना है कि who is more important, either the teacher, principal or management, or the student. The students are more important than the teachers. And when this kind of attitude prevails in any institution, मैं आपको बताऊं, दावे के साथ कह सकता हूं कि वो इंस्टीट्यूशन ही विकसित भारत में कन्वर्ट कर सकता है भारत को। और इसलिए हमें इस तरह के संस्थाओं को बदलना होगा, हमें अपने माइंडसेट को चेंज करना होगा, और इसी के साथ हम बहुत कुछ अचीव कर सकते हैं। आई एम ए वेरी ऑप्टिमिस्टिक प्रिंसिपल, very optimistic teacher and very optimistic individual। तो मेरी पूरी आशा है मंजुला जी कि हम भारत को विकसित भारत में बदलेंगे, और हम सब टीचर्स, हम सब एजुकेशनिस्ट मिलकर बदलेंगे। थैंक यू।
Thank you, sir. Our senior most panelist, and being a sociologist, he focused on happy children, happy citizens, not just robotic children we have to develop in a stage of technology. My next, thank you, sir. And my next question is to VJ Nagesh ji. जो अभी सर ने कहा कि उन्होंने हैप्पी चाइल्ड या हैप्पी सिटीजन्स हमें बनाने के लिए क्या करना है, पर उसी की तरफ मैं आपसे पूछना चाहूंगी कि what is the role of technology in education and what challenges you face by implementing the technology in classrooms, smart rooms, whether children are able to grasp it or the knowledge, or they perform better. What is your approach?
Hello. So first of all, good afternoon, all the respected teachers. So do you agree with me? Yes or no? Audience, yes or no? Yes. We all are teachers first, irrespective. We got the designation related with our experience and expertise and all. First thing, we are teachers and still we are continuing as teachers. And as leaders also, we are playing the same role, maybe an upper side, but as a teacher only. So, continuing the topic there, what man has asked. First thing again I stress, irrespective of things, policies, technologies, there is no substitute for a teacher. Do you agree with me?
Yes.
There is no substitute for a teacher. The teacher still is an ideal, an idol, and as well as a mentor for the students. No technology can become an ideal for the student. No technology can become a mentor for the student, and no technology can become a role model for a student. Of course, they can give any number of incentives, additives, or explanations, but they cannot fulfill the void for the teacher or the role played by a teacher. Of course, the blend of these two, the teacher and the technology, can create an exponential development, I say. Exponential development, exponential support to the student, and an exponential growth. But still, the role of the teacher, nobody can steal, nobody can take up. The teacher, with the help of technology, can create a vast difference. Second thing, the most important fact, the touch with the student, understanding the levels of the student, bringing down what the respected sir has said, we need to come down at the resonance, we need to get the resonance with the student. हमारा level बच्चों के level में आना चाहिए, हम कितना भी उठाना चाहे बच्चों को. First, I need to come down to the level of the student. I need to understand. Again, this that technology cannot give. Technology directly can feed the things, give the outcomes, much better than me, much better than a teacher, maybe in a very refined way, but the touch, but the exploring the skills that can be done only and only by we teachers, not the technology. As good teachers, we need to take the knowledge part or the flourishing part or the finishing parts or the additive parts of the technology, but our role is as vital, as important for development. And most important I would like to add is, irrespective of the technologies, it is my skill how I am imparting the technology on the first place, how best I am using it for the betterment of the child, and how best I am applying it to make the child to that level what he or she wishes for. And in this part, again, two things. They give the intellectual things, the technology. What I call intelligence. Intelligence is the ability to learn the things as it is. Whereas competency is the ability to apply. The application part again comes with the role of the teacher, in collaboration with the technology. The technology alone cannot come up with the competency part. Of course, the topic is so long, but due to time constraint, I want other respected speakers also to come up with good ideas. So I'd like to put this talk with you.
Thank you, sir. Welcome, Poonam. And I'd like to ask, how do teachers, leaders in education, teachers also, because a teacher is a leader in his or her classroom, how do leaders in education be ready to face unexpected pandemic-like situations and reimagining education in the post-pandemic world? Because you might have faced this situation and might have taken some emergent decisions. So how such emergent can be expectations from a leader like you, that is principal of St. M.R. Jaipuriya School?
Good afternoon, everyone. See, we all have undergone that pandemic situation, the COVID how can we all forget? Everything was closed. All the institutions were closed. The temples, the mosques, the gurudwaras, everything was closed. So during that time, as ma'am said, a teacher is a leader or a leader is a teacher. I mean, it is a vice versa. We were the ones, the teachers were the ones, or the leaders, we were the ones who took forward the academics outside the classroom. Like if, you said about, you talked about this Viksit Bharat, sir spoke about Viksit Bharat, sir spoke about technology. तो ये पैंडेमिक के बाद इस टेक्नोलॉजी को जिस हिसाब से इंटीग्रेट किया गया है, now we cannot go ahead, move ahead without the integration of this technology in our curriculum, in our system. Technology has become an integral part. Sir said, yes, technology cannot overtake teachers because एक वो जो individual aspect होता है that can be brought by teachers, but these pandemic situations have taught us, have evolved us. And the theory of evolution, we all know, we have to be the fittest. As leaders, we have to think next. What next? Beyond 10 years, beyond 15 years. Like if I talk of our respected Prime Minister Modi ji, he doesn't speak of this year or next year. He always talks 10 or 15 years ahead of what we are doing today. अगर मैं विकसित भारत के लिए भी मैं बात करूंगी, मैं सिर्फ 2 लाइनें ऐड करना चाहूंगी। विकसित भारत हमारा तभी हो सकता है जब हम अपनी शिक्षा को अफोर्डेबल बनाएंगे, जब हमारी शिक्षा में जो फोकस है, एजुकेशन शुड फोकस ऑन स्किल बेस्ड एजुकेशन। अगर स्किल बेस्ड एजुकेशन होगा, फोकस ऑन द प्रैक्टिकल एस्पेक्ट ऑफ the concepts that are taught in the classroom, whatever we are studying, whatever we are learning, whatever we are teaching our students in the classrooms, अगर हम उसका practical application बच्चों को सिखाएंगे, तो automatically बच्चों का interest create होगा और वो हमारे विकसित भारत में करेंगे। And technology integration that has evolved us and made us successful in overcoming the pandemics.
Thank you, Poonam, because I know that हिंदी मीडियम स्कूल्स के भी जो टीचर्स थे, जो प्रिंसिपल्स थे, और अगर हम डिग्री कॉलेजेस जो एडेड कॉलेजेस हैं या गवर्नमेंट कॉलेजेस हैं, वहाँ देखिए तो वहाँ ना तो डिजिटल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर था, पर सभी टीचर्स ने कमेंडेबल जॉब किया कि वहाँ पे उन्होंने गूगल मीट के थ्रू या जूम लिंक जो भी प्रोवाइड किया गया इंस्टीट्यूशन के द्वारा, उससे सभी ने, ऐसा नहीं कि सिर्फ इंग्लिश मीडियम स्कूल्स या पब्लिक स्कूल्स जहाँ पे ज्यादा फीस देते हैं बच्चे, जैसा पूनम ने अभी कहा कि हमें ये अभी नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन भी मेरा रहेगा कि रूरल अर्बन डिवाइड जो है या इंटरपर्सनल जो डिवाइड है, अगर हम देखें तो ये डिस्पैरिटीज को कम करने की बात है, और बहुत ही कमेंडेबल जॉब जो हमारे प्रिंसिपल्स थे, उन्होंने जो एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर्स थे।
मंजुला, मैं एक चीज ऐड करना चाहूंगी। देखिए अभी जैसे मंजुला मैम ने कहा हिंदी मीडियम, इंग्लिश मीडियम, कोविड में इंग्लिश हिंदी मीडियम किसी ने नहीं देखा, वहां पे सब एक साथ हुए, एकजुट हुए, और जब हम कॉन्सेप्ट की बात करते हैं वहां हम इंग्लिश नहीं देखते, वहां हम हिंदी नहीं देखते, वहां हम देखते हैं कि जो क्लास के अंदर आया है उसने कितने अच्छे से बच्चों को उस पर्टिकुलर कॉन्सेप्ट का एप्लीकेशन सिखाया है, प्रैक्टिकलिटी सिखाई है। जब हम प्री प्राइमरी या प्राइमरी में इंग्लिश मीडियम स्कूल्स में जाते हैं, the teacher should be purely spoken English teacher, the teacher should be a fluent teacher in English and all that. But when it comes to that TGT and PGT level, what do? How good the concepts are. Does the teacher has good subject knowledge? वहाँ हम अंग्रेजी नहीं देखते हैं, वहाँ हम देखते हैं कि टीचर में कॉन्सेप्ट्स कितने क्लियर हैं। तो ये धीरे धीरे करके अभी जैसे हमारी राष्ट्रीय शिक्षा नीति आई है, इसमें जो भाषा है, भाषा में हमें बाइलिंगुअल, हमारी जो मातृभाषा है, जो हमारी क्षेत्रीय भाषा है, उस पर एम्फसाइज किया गया है।
I was talking about Hindi medium, English medium schools, not teachers. वही teachers जो है जो government job में जाते हैं क्योंकि वहाँ digital infrastructure उतना नहीं था तो different adult tinkering labs वगैरह के माध्यम से भी जो innovative innovation centers बनाया जा रहा है और उस समय जो challenge था आज से 5 साल पहले उसको सभी ने एक साथ मिलकर ये जो एजुकेटर्स हैं जितने भी स्टेक होल्डर्स हैं उन्होंने उसे बहुत ही एफिशिएंटली मैनेज किया उसी को मैं मतलब इट वाज अ कमेंडेबल जॉब नेक्स्ट मेघा जी आई जस्ट वांट टू टॉक टू यू दैट इन द वर्ल्ड ऑफ एआई व्हाट इज द रेलेवेंस ऑफ एथिक्स and human values in students because in higher education we focus that whatever content we write it should not be plagiarized we have to bear a huge cost for plagiarism so how can we in the world of AI we can forbid our children not to copy just copy paste from ChatGPT.
Very good afternoon to all the eminent guests present here, and thank you SMS College for giving me this wonderful opportunity. Thank you for the question, ma'am. And I think this is quite a very relevant question in today's time because AI has taken over a lot. A lot of jobs people have lost because of AI. And yes, it is very attractive, and therefore the adult learners, as ma'am said, are very much attracted towards it because it saves on their time. We were the hard workers and they are the smart workers. So we have invested our value system, our ethics, our teachings, teachings from our mentors, and then we have groomed ourselves and built our personalities. But the young adults we have at hand do not understand all these things because they want everything at the blink of an eye. And for them, AI is the best tool. But yes, as we are talking about Viksit Bharat, Bharat cannot be Viksit without emotions. And it is only the value system, the ethical system of our culture, which can help us bring our children into a place where they can strike a balance and develop an understanding which would help them in analyzing better when to use AI and when not to use AI. Because today we cannot go into any type of denial. Everything that is present around us needs an acceptance. And we have been talking about that since morning. So if we talk about acceptance, then the best thing that we can do along with it is to create a balance, show them different ways, and then leave them to choose what is good, what is right, and when what is happening.
Thank you, Megha. And I will not switch to Dr. Manju Palji. I would like to ask that what suggestions for change in pedagogy in education to reach the goal of Viksit Bharat 2047?
First of all, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to SMS for inviting us to attend this conclave and the panelists, moderator ma'am, and all the eminent guests sitting out here. First of all, like we have been talking about teaching, we are teachers first and the principal later. And I personally believe that every day is a learning, and even a small child of 5 years can be a teacher for me at a point of time. Because we learn from everyone whom we come across in our lives. Say for example, pre-primary child, whatever he or she does, usse bhi hum seekhte hi hain. So learning never ends. Besides that, we were talking about the pandemic, how we cope up with the pandemic situations. All the students sitting here, all the teachers sitting here, and all the principals sitting here. I would like all of you to clap for yourself. Ma'am said we should do this, but sometimes noise is needed. Noise is needed. I could hear the noise, please. Why do we need a noise? To attract or to gain the attention of the listener. Monotony aa jati hai, ma'am is here. I was a little contradictory to yours, right? Because to break the monotony, somewhere we need a sound. Now I come to your question, ma'am. Viksit Bharat, we are all talking about 2047, 22 years from now. It will only happen. There are 2-3 points. I'll not take much of your time because if we keep talking, everyone has so much to speak about it. We have to come out that we need a transformational shift from the rote learning to a skill-based learning, which we all are talking. But are we, as the teachers and the principals, really implementing it? Because if we say we need a skill-based learning, because NEP is there, now everybody is bound to karna hai NEP based. Skill hai kya? I will take a very small example. Say, for example, for years, the children sitting here, somebody of elder age than me, we all have studied capillary action, एक छोटा सा capillary action. But अगर एकदम किसी भी point of time पे किसी को पूछा जाए what is capillary action, तो आप उसको skill में समझा नहीं पाएंगे. But अगर हमने क्लासरूम में उसको एक प्रैक्टिकल बेस करके सिखाया कि टॉवल को लो, एक कोना टिप करो, छोड़ दो, पूरा टॉवल गीला होता है. What is that? Capillary action. How do plants absorb water from the soil? Capillary action. इसको अगर हमने skill based, why we are talking about skill based? Because there are 3 types of learners we all know: visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. We all know about it. But जब आप कोई चीज करके दिखाते हैं किसी को, तो they learn better. So first we need to come out of that raw methodology. And second thing, we are blessed to be teaching in the era where technology, skill-based learning is there. सबके स्कूल में smart classes. तो वो जो एक lecture method था, we have come out of it. अगर आप हर क्लास में smart class use करते हैं, आप जैसे कि say कि उसको outfield में ले जाओ. It's not possible to take the child to the field all the time. For that we had to Retd school में एक smart class, flat panels है ना, हम उसके through सिखा सकते हैं. So learning can be made fun. और हमें अपने बच्चों को हुनर में आगे लेके जाए. So that whenever the time comes, they are able to earn their bread and butter with their skill. Third point आता है कि how to, like we have been talking about it. बट क्या हम अपने बच्चों को वाकई ही बता रहे हैं कि फ्यूचर में उनको कमाना कैसे? तो 2047 में हम वही देखना चाहते हैं कि आज स्टार्टअप्स आ रहे हैं, आज एक इंजीनियर भी चाय बेच रहा है. Are we agreeing to it or not? I am not talking about our Prime Minister sold tea and he has become a Prime Minister. Even I would like to become a Prime Minister. But am I able to use my skill to earn my bread and butter and take care of my family? I come across so many children engineering करके वो ऐसे काम कर रहे हैं कि जैसे चाय वाला जो चल रहा है, चाय पियोगे क्या, चाय चाय करके you know. So now my students who have done IITs and all, they are starting up with restaurants. They are coming up with this so many startups. हमारे स्कूल में I think हर प्रिंसिपल सुनता है कोई टेक्निकल बेस्ड प्लान ले आए, कोई असेसमेंट के प्लान ले आए. But they are coming up with ideas. They are helping us to make our children learn. And we have to come out of that system also, जहाँ bulk assessments हो, formative assessments करेंगे, छोटे-छोटे assessments करेंगे, so that MCQs हम CBSE में implement कर रहे हैं. So I'm really happy that we are in a world where NEP 20 is there and we are taking it forward. तो हमें ये करना चाहिए as a leader, यहाँ जितने भी principals हैं, अपने टीचर्स को हमें ये समझाना है कि बच्चे के साथ एक empathy रखो. और अगर बच्चा नहीं पढ़ रहा है तो जानो क्यों नहीं. अगर आपने अपना सब्जेक्ट इंटरेस्टिंग बना दिया, believe you me, every child will not be a 90%, but they will be earning 60%, which are respectable numbers, but उसमें उसकी कोई learning होनी चाहिए. And this is the reason why we are coming up with the holistic development. तो विकसित भारत तभी होगा जब अपनी सोच 99% आए ये बच्चा सबसे अच्छा होगा. No. And I think all of us have seen this in our life कि हमारे जो brightest बच्चे थे शायद वो इतनी तरक्की नहीं कर रहे जितने मेरे mediocres थे. Am I right or not? So a big clap for mediocres क्योंकि हम सब and 90% is never a digit or a figure. We should tell our child learn concept clarity कि आगे जाके अगर तुमसे कोई भी चीज पूछे तो तुम उसका जवाब दो. And this is the reason why I tell my teachers also and declare Shri कि बेटा नहीं पढ़ रहे ना तो जानो क्यों नहीं. वो अगर 2 चैप्टर भी ठीक से पढ़ के जवाब दे देगा ना तो बच्चा पास हो जाएगा. लेकिन आगे फ्यूचर में वो क्या करेगा तुम्हारे लिए ये हर स्कूल के पीछे एक टारगेट होता है कि प्रिंसिपल्स 90% ले लाए, सिटी टॉपर नहीं लाए. Exactly, we all face that, but I vouch for कि मेरा हर बच्चा अपने पैर पे खड़ा हो, अपने लिए कमा रहा हो और अपने परिवार की जिम्मेदारी ले, ना कि उन पे बोझ बने. ये है.
Thank you. I want to add कि जब हम पेडागॉजी की बात कर रहे थे तो इसमें जो हम एक्सपेक्ट करते हैं कि जो सेंट्रलाइज्ड सिस्टम्स है, वेदर यूनिवर्सिटी सिस्टम या आप लोग स्कूल सिस्टम से देखते हैं, तो जो भी सिलेबस डिजाइन होके मिलता है वो सारा सिलेबस हमको सेंट्रलाइज सिस्टम से मिलना होता है और हम खाली उसकी इम्प्लीमेंटर्स होते हैं. वो नहीं, वो ना हो और वो पेडागॉजी में स्टूडेंट्स भी बताएं कि वो क्या पढ़ना चाहते हैं. जैसे कि मेरे ही बेटे हैं तो उनको जब इंटरेस्ट मान लीजिए फिजिक्स केमिस्ट्री में नहीं है तो वो ये कहेंगे कि हमारे लिए केमिस्ट्री किस काम की. तो हमें कुछ ऐसा सिलेबस आप डिजाइन करने को, तब हम कहेंगे कि एनईपी जो है वो सही रूप में लागू हो पा रही. ये पेडागॉजी में चेंज आएगा.
I think multidisciplinary is there. अब साइंस का बच्चा भी आर्ट ले सकता है, चाहे तो केमिस्ट्री छोड़ सकता है. We can do that now, and I think हर इंस्टीट्यूशन को इसमें एक इनिशिएटिव लेना चाहिए कि अगर जैसे मैंने अपने स्कूल में आर्ट को इंट्रोड्यूस कर दिया, साइकोलॉजी को इंट्रोड्यूस कर दिया, योगा को इंट्रोड्यूस कर दिया, बैंकिंग को इंट्रोड्यूस कर दी. नहीं पढ़ना है तुम्हें इकोनॉमिक्स मत, आर्ट लो. सो देयर इज आर्ट. क्या करेगा, क्यों नहीं करेगा आर्ट? आज मेरे जाने वाले इतने बच्चे हैं जो बहुत अच्छे आर्टिस्ट हैं, किसी स्कूल में टीचर थे, 70-75,000 सैलरी मिल रही, छोड़. इनका बेटा क्यों छोड़ा? हम अपना कुछ काम करें. एंड दे आर अर्निंग बेटर. एंड वी से कि मैम मेरा बड़ा मन था कि मैं आर्टिस्ट डेवलप करूं, प्रोड्यूस करूं, एंड ही इज डूइंग दैट. सो इजंट इट इम्पोर्टेंट? और अब आई थिंक मैम वी एज अ लीडर होल्ड द रिस्पांसिबिलिटी ऑफ इम्प्लीमेंटिंग एनईपी टू इट्स फुलेस्ट एंड द truest meaning, which I think CBSE is very well doing it. और बस अब हमें जरूरत है कि हम इस जैसे हर स्कूल में IITM कितना, इंजीनियर कितना, साइंस में कितना बच्चा टॉप कर रहा है. आप इतिहास उठा के देख लीजिए, ह्यूमैनिटी का बच्चा टॉपर है, हर साल टॉपर है. क्या वो जिंदगी में कुछ नहीं करता? उसको है की दृष्टि से देख. और आज की डेट में इवन माय डॉटर, एवरीवन वाज टेलिंग मी क्यों उसको ह्यूमैनिटीज पढ़ाना. She is excelling in humanities. जरूरी है कि वो मैम उसके 99 आए थे मैथ्स में 10th में, उसके टीचर्स ने दिमाग खराब कर दिया. साइंस लो 11th में, she was adamant नहीं लूंगी. And today she is doing so well in psychology. So I'm happy. My daughter is standing on her feet and everyone has a child. सब चाहते हैं मेरा बच्चा मेरे पैरों पे खड़ा हो. तो प्लीज उसको बाउंड्रीज में मत बांधिए जो एनईपी भी कहेगा. तो मैम जो करिकुलम हमें मिलता है ना, अगर उसको सिर्फ I tell my teachers also, I'm telling all the books कि आप बच्चे को अगर ये चैप्टर मान लीजिए मोमेंटम का चैप्टर है फिजिक्स में, उसकी वेटेज देखो, उसको वो कॉन्सेप्ट समझा दो, उसके 4 क्वेश्चन कर लेगा, पास. Let them pass, but let them understand. अब आप लोग भी फेस करते होंगे ना, आप जो बात कह रही सही कह रही. There is a child, हर साल उसकी मदर नहीं मैथ्स PCM करके 3 साल 11th में वो बच्चा सर फेल हो. And he came to me once, कि ma'am, my mother is not listening to me. I want to go for humanities. मैंने 12th में उसकी stages. And then he scored 89%.
हमारे भी कोई streams नहीं. My own daughter has opted for biology, geography, psychology, painting, physical education, with English as the choice of subjects. So the students, they have the liberty of choosing what subjects they want. So thanks to the National Education Policy and the changes that Sir has brought about in the university or the higher education level, the liberal arts is the field, is the stream which accommodates all the changes that have been brought about by NUP.
Thank you, Manjuna. And Lataji, I just want to ask because you are principal in Amethi. We all are principal of Lucknow city. So that I was talking about rural-urban disparity, regional disparities, individual disparities. How disparities in education, whether rural, urban, rich and poor, can be minimized, that is, inclusivity can be increased. Yeah, or what challenges you face. Maybe you have studied from Lucknow, but what challenge you are facing in Amethi while implementing NEP or present education system?
Thank you so much, ma'am. Well, greetings to the SMS family, first of all, for inviting such a wonderful gathering here. So, greetings of the day to everybody present here, the galaxy of intellectuals. So, I really feel like I'm in a universe which is full of brilliant minds and vivacious thoughts there. And yes, being the last member here in the panel, you must be bored. Madam, aage zyada mat boliyega. And especially that term came Amethi. Of course, I'm not going to tell about that particular place. I'm born and brought up in Lucknow. I have been traveled around the world because of my father, who's in CRPF, is still serving 2 years to retire. Well, as a bud of DAV climber, DAV is known for Dayanand Anglo Valley. Let me start from the root, and you will get to know by the end why I'm starting from the root. Root is really important and pivotal, everybody knows that, right? Well, when we talk about roots, and ma'am has said about the disparity. What is disparity, first of all? Since morning, we all are sitting here. Since morning, we have been listening. I have been a great listener, actually, and I always tell myself, even not a teacher, principal is far away from my dictionary. I'm just a learner. So since morning, I have been listening to people, eminent speakers who have enlightened us all. We are in the room, and we all have been enlightened with so great thoughts, I would say. Right? We got to learn about expressions, movements, kinesthetic actions also took place in the room. But tell me, everyone, introspecting yourself, how many of us actually came to gain something? And we are here because we have to speak, we have to be active. Great. 1 hand, 2 hand. My team was there, yes. Great. Madam has said, the passive listening. Still people are dozing off. Imagine just a 5 hours conclave, right? Just 5 hours, we adults, dedicated, and the people who are the educators, who are the mentors, can't bear each other for 5 hours. Imagine the children sitting there, how they are going to bear us. Imagine. We are talking about values, ethics, morals, Viksit Bharat, reimagining education, reimagining and building a great India by 2047. How come? The question is still with us. Each of one of us has gone through the NEP manual because this is Principal's Conclave, I guess. It came long back, available on Google. How many of you can tell me how many pages that manual of NEP contains? 66, correct. Yeah, I'm not judging anybody, no offense to anybody, because you all are so elder and I bow down in front of you, because in the tradition is of namaste. We don't shake hands, we don't say good morning, we just say namaste. So understand our roots, how we are flourishing. As I told you, I'm a bud of daily climber. So how, as a family member, as a mother, as a father, as a grandparent, as a husband, as a son, as a daughter, how much we are inculcating, or actually our personality is catering in the family. And that family is going out all around and sparkling the world. What are we giving? Let's come to me. The disparity still is here. I always buy a diary in the beginning of the year. We all talk about New Year resolutions, right? How many of us do that? We shun that practice, isn't it? The diary, one quote. Everybody in the morning, since the morning, have been talking about even one line their parents, their gurus have told to them. They have embodied it in their life, and that particular line has changed their life. Words are magical spells, and that's why they have spellings, isn't it? So in order to change your world, you have to change your words. Understand? And the diary says, I'm not promoting it anyway. You can buy any diary anywhere. It says 365 new days, 365 new chances. Well, every year I buy new diaries. Last year it was Go Green, years back something else. But every time I keep something with me which has some words in order to keep me rotating. We are talking about rural and urban. There is nothing I have faced till date. Of course, the gentry is a little different, but much more respectable. As a principal, I have gained a lot of respect in rural regions. And I'm so proud that I have flourished the schools from the foundational levels until date as a flourishing youngest principal, I guess so, well known till the age of 30. So I'm really proud of myself. And as a learner, still I'm growing, empowering the young generation. I don't give them bombastic words. We just do give lots and lots of words. We feed children. We feed our fraternity. But how many trainings as a principal do we take of our teachers? Think. Everywhere you go and you'll find, have something, right? In writing, do write your goals. We just taught children, we just preach them to have journals. Do we make a journal? Have something of your own. Few petals, dried petals gifted by my students. Place them in your life and your life will sparkle. And the same love and affection when you have in your heart, the empathy and sympathy when we talk about, are we keeping it with us every day and out? Understand. There is nothing in the rural and urban. Because in urban also, I have got the intellectual students, of course, the English speakers, I must say, I must mention it, of course. In rural, English is quite taken back by the students and they fear it. But if you build confidence, if you tell them to watch TED Talks, right? If you tell them to imitate a speech of Priyanka Chopra, they really get British accent better than any urban student, I would say. So I have really encountered these kind of students. Well, sitting here, how many of us are sitting with our back straight? Tell me now. When we talk about morals, when we talk about empathy, when we talk about Viksit Bharat, who will make that? By talking, sitting here, like we were sitting that side, now we are on the other side of the table. Again, we will go back there. We'll be back to our places. This room, this hall will be empty. But the energy, the spirituality, the level of thought processing, creativity and innovation this room has got. How many of us are really looking next to ours and we are saying hello, hi, with this smile. Our smiles have faded, imagine. So first of all, for any school, like Dr. Ji has in the very beginning said and really won my heart, happiness. Happiness and pursuit of happiness, the true essence of life. You must have heard like 2 years back, there was a news an IITian has suicide and his package